take a little bit more time for yourself. Take a little bit more time during the day. Also, when you go to the toilet, don't have your phone with you when you shit. Just enjoy the shitting. And then when you take the shower, then enjoy washing your hair. Also feel your hair. There's a lot of men, they don't have hair anymore. So if you have hair, grab that hair and be thankful. People don't take the time anymore to just feel who they really are. Because once you feel who you are, you know also way better who you want to be and what you want to become.
Buenas tardes, mi amigo, Alexandros. Greetings to Mexico. So nice to see you. Been a long time.
Hey man, I want first to say I thank you very much for having me again. I'm very nervous in my face. You see that smile? But it's also coming because I know how much work you put into your shows, in your work, in your breath work, in your entire promotion, into entire entertainment. And also I want to say that everybody listening right now, I know this motherfucker a long time. So I know you. I know that you're doing this from the bottom of your heart. So hey, thanks for everyone joining, and thanks, Robin, for having me.
Yeah. Thank you, Alexandros. I told you, the interview with you is the best one. So the most people, they love you and they love the interview. The first interview we made in German, and today we switched to English. Maybe you can explain why we do that.
I think because you decided to reach more people with your knowledge and with your show. And I think that's also good because a long time ago, I started to focus on American English and English because I think it's more like the like-minded people. To be very honest, Robin, I think the people that I'm meeting around the world, if they are from Germany, they speak English. So when you have this feeling oh my God, if I speak English, then maybe my German audience is going to lose me. But that's not true. I think we live in 2024, people can learn English, and we live in Germany, everybody learns English. And I think my audience, I realize this more and more, is so international. If there's a German inside and say I'm from Stuttgart or München or Berlin, he definitely understands English. So for me, it was very clear a few years ago to say hey, let's go full English. And then when I saw you going English, I was yeah, because then more people can see what you do and more people can feel your love and your energy and your passion. And I think it's more accurate for the time today to do English. But I can also respect and understand people who say I only do my German thing. I want my German thing only.
Yeah.
Cool, it's cool.
Yeah, so sometimes you feel more authentic maybe in your mother language. And also for me, it's not easy to speak English also for long podcasts. Yeah, we have today maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. So definitely, it's a challenge, but I'm 100% with you. And it's also encouraging me to do more in English because I'm always you know it. Yeah, I wrote you several times, should I switch to English? I don't know. But for me, I'm living here in Koh Phangan right now in Thailand, and so many people in the community are English speaking. Yeah. So they're from other countries, not from Germany. And I always say, I have a podcast, but it's in German. And okay, then I can listen to the podcast. And this is really, I'm not feeling good with that because, and also we have so many interesting people here on the island. And for me, with my mission also, it is not good, to not talk with them and to not bring them to the podcast. And so I think the step towards English, it's happening. It's happening right now.
Good. And I also want to say congrats because it's a big step because you're leaving your comfort zone. And whenever we're leaving a comfort zone, it's you need you need a different system to get this done, it's very different. But also what I feel is you are ready, man. You are completely ready. You had such a big life change also recently, I remember separating from this big relationship and doing your own thing now bigger and you thinking bigger and you left your comfort zone. I think it's something beautiful to see you growing and saying hey, let's get international people on that podcast. And believe me, I have already 2 people in my mind, which I know that they want to speak with you about Wall Street and business and consumption and how to get in a big city more calm and how to keep the peace in a big city when you're very successful. And I told them hey, my friend Robin, he's now doing an international podcast and I want to introduce you. So I'm going to send you some nice people because I know that internationally you will get more reaching power. And I know also with you, you are made for this big stage. I follow you since many years, man. I have a lot of respect for what you built. I was one of the first guys in Germany understanding that this Robin is different. He's not aiming like for making the big money in the online course. He's like really wants to help that people to breathe and to get into their body and live their life. And also your content is very authentic. And some people ask me like, why do you hype this guy so much? Do you think he's so special? I'm like, I see that he's special. I feel that he's special. And I can tell you guys, you need to get into this, because a lot of people, what I see today, especially with social media, is if your content is not super hype and super fancy, they're like, this guy is boring. But if you go behind that and you see the core and the quality of your content, which I see with you, you don't need to be fancy. You don't need to be shiny. You don't need to be professional. You need to be real.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm so happy when I told everybody today, like, hey, tonight I'm not going out here in Mexico. I have a podcast with Robin. They're like, who's Robin? I'm like, I'm going to show you once it's done. So I want to also say, like, thanks for the friendship. Thanks for the energy that you're providing, and also what you do for the space. You want to make people better. You want to help people to have a better life. And I think this is what we're going to talk tonight. Me from Mexico and you from in the morning in Copangan. I think it's all about how to get better in life.
Yeah. And it's also a lot of things happening in your life since we talked the last time. Maybe you just want to give us like a short insight or a long insight, because we have time, in your personal transformation from the last call we had.
So what was your last understanding about where I am at the moment? What do you remember?
You did the mentoring for men, and I think it was right in the beginning, and there was this guy from New York, and you said you would travel with him to Switzerland, some stuff like this.
But we had a podcast that when I was with him in Switzerland, you know that?
Yeah, it wasn't, you've been in Switzerland, yeah, right.
Yes.
Nice.
I remember that we were on that trip, and then when I finished the podcast, he asked me like, so what did you talk about? Because he's very careful with his identity. And it's very funny because I spoke with him maybe 2 days ago, and he's doing very good. He's like now starting to date again, and he's having way more like a routine, and he's putting way more focus on his health and his breath and drinking a lot of water. And listen, for me, it's very, very transformative, the time now, because I ended up in this kind of New York circle where I help like let's say those people have a lot of liquidity financially. Like this means that for me, it's not a problem to ask them like, hey, can you pay me please? And I come there and we can work. The payment in my life is at the moment not a problem anymore. Like I have people who are willing to invest into their own development. And I feel like this is, as an entrepreneur, it's a very beautiful feeling. I want to be very grateful and very thankful to the universe that I ended up in the age of 37, finally, after I started in 2011, which is now like 13 years ago as a digital nomad. I can say like I can live from my profession. And I think this is something everybody should be very thankful listening to this podcast, and not just thankful for having the money. Also, if you make money by something that you love, something that is like a delicious ice cream where you feel like, so delicious. I'm so happy to have that ice cream in the Mexican sun here on the beach. And I feel like, thanks for that ice cream. It's the same with money. It's like something that helps you in life. And I was struggling a lot. When I started my world trip in 2011, I started without money. Most of your listeners who listen to the German podcast, they know that I was the guy traveling without money for 6 years on a bicycle. So I know how it is to survive all the time, surviving, then going back to Germany, not even able to pay my rent. And then I feel like, oh my God, I need to work at MediaMarkt or like in some retail store to kind of like McDonald's flipping burgers. And today, when I get paid by somebody in New York or like Chicago or like even in Mexico or like wherever in the world or Switzerland, I always look at that money like, I worked so hard for that moment that I can say like, I put on my bank, or I invest in crypto, or I buy something nice for my friends or family, or I send my mother some money, or I'm buying myself a new MacBook, or I'm entering the MacBook store, bro, with so much gratitude because I know that I can buy a MacBook. And then people see that in the store. They're like, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm so happy today that I can buy a MacBook. And they're like, yeah, okay. I'm like, no, you understand? I can buy a MacBook. Like, this is not something normal. Not everybody can just go in and buy a MacBook. I think people misunderstand how privileged you are if you can go to the Mac store, if you can buy it. But even something else, if you can go to buy food, if you can pay your rent. if you can buy now a microphone that we can have a better podcast. I think those little things in life, it's $50 or $2,500 for the MacBook. It doesn't matter, or a flight ticket to see your family. I think what I want to tell people in this message right now is like, be so thankful for having avena milk, like oat milk, or water, or like the pool behind me. Like, be fucking thankful that you can live and you can be like without stress about financial things. Or if you have that life right now and you're listening to that podcast, you should take a moment just to be full of gratitude. It's also why I'm starting the podcast with you, saying so much thanks that you have me here, because I'm able now to inspire other people through your platform. And this is where we stopped. I was with that fancy client from New York in Europe. We traveled like 12 countries in 25 days. He paid me a bunch of money. And after that, I think something happened with me. I went more to New York. I was another time there. I met other clients. And then I realized something that your podcast can relate with, and people in Kopangang and you too. I think most of the people in big cities, they live a too stressed life, man. It's too much stress. Robert, it's so much fucking stress.
Yeah. And also the people that bring it to this kind of paradise locations here. I feel it in Kopangan. I feel like the Western world is coming, the culture is coming, the stress and the burnout syndrome is coming. Last time my hairdresser, it's a Thai woman, she just punched a client in the face. Yeah, I don't know. She's like super nice woman. She's always so friendly. And then I see this post Nadia showed me in the conscious community on Facebook. I was like, what? And this is a little bit like the sad thing, because we transport and we transmute this energy also to those people, to those indigenous people, to local people all over the world. And I see it because when I go into Sri Tanu, which is like the spiritual bubble here in Kopangan, I feel like the stress energy, stress energy. I just enter it and I see the people are racing with the motorbikes and screaming at each other and fighting. And I was like, it changed.
It's the same for me. When I had a panic attack when I was the last time in New York, and I'm rarely getting these things. Like, I have my shit together. I have my issues. I have my problems in life. Obviously, everybody has. But when I was in New York, I visit my best friend and my mentor, Joey, and all my love goes to him. He's a beautiful person. And he invited me to his parents' house. And I got nervous. I was like, oh my God, I go to this parents' house from this Italian guy. And I think we met in some other life. Like we have very like a strong brotherhood connection. Like we are really strong connected. Like we met on Burning Man 2.5 years ago. And it is special when you meet on Burning Man, because he was just this kind of dude, this buddy that you needed on Burning Man. It was like, bro, you have been here 4 or 5 times. It's my first time. I'm completely overwhelmed. Please take me under your wings and show me the world of Burning Man. And he did with so much respect towards he was so empathic. He was so sensitive. It's like, sounds super gay what I say right now, but he loved me so much through being a good leader. And it's so powerful to talk about him because he's such a powerful person. So for me, meeting his parents, I bought flowers. I dressed very nicely. I knew there would be other people. And we drove like 2.5 hours, out from New York to Connecticut. And I got a panic attack the moment I entered that house. I felt like my blood sugar, like my sugar is going down and my nervous system is completely overwhelmed. And I was like, this is all too much for me. Like I reached the night before from Mexico, and then I had also just a little bit sleep. He took me to his daily life in New York on a Friday, like gym, boom, boom, 6 o'clock in the morning, gym, breakfast, river, driving there, meetings. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Yeah, I was like, and then in the midday, like meeting this person, going to a gallery, boom, 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 boom. I was like, hey, Mr. Azaro, this is like fucking fast. He's like, hey, bro, this is the lifestyle of New York. You have to keep up. Boom, boom, boom. And when we went to his parents, I asked his brother, hey man, do you have some Coca-Cola or like Fanta or something like with sugar? Because I think I'm fainting here. I'm like, I'm out. I'm like, my nervous system is completely overloaded. And then I realized also in the house, so many people and his brother with the kids. And then they're driving outside from New York. And then the next day, when I woke up, I was normal. I was like, I had digested all this experience with his family, meeting the mother. And then when we drove back to New York, I remember we drove into New York and you have all these skyscrapers and you see all these kind of big skyline and you feel like what helicopters going left and right because private people flying with helicopters.
Oh,
There's even like people like flying like normally with helicopters to the airport because that's cheaper. It's cheaper for them because they save time. Yeah? If you go by car 1 hour or you go 15 minutes by helicopter, it's a difference for you when you're a businessman. But what I realized is he showed me how he drives into New York. He has like soft music. He's breathing while he's driving the car. He has his shit together. This guy is like top baller, top G guy, like really top. I have my respect for being my mentor, also thankful for his friendship. But what I want to tell you with that is that for us tropical people or doing some stretching and rings and you're a calisthenic and super athletic guy, if you go to the environment in the other side, like this stressful environment, our bodies are also not made for this anymore. And this is the same for those people. Those people come then to the island, to Mexico, they come to Copangan or they come to Puerto Escondido or whatever, and they also need first time to adapt because their nervous system and then they come to something like Tulum.
So many people get sick. Yeah, so many people get sick as well. Yeah, they come, they get sick. So, and some people I know, like 3 people in the last time, they come just for 2 weeks to Copangan. I was like, no, this is not possible because you need like 1.5 weeks to adapt, and then you have like 3 days to really enjoy the island, and then it's too much to enjoy it. So I was here like 8 months, 8 months on this island, and then I went to a city in Vietnam, Da Nang, and it was the other way around. It was too much for me. I get really panicked because it's the traffic and the skyscrapers and what's up?
It's interesting because when you say like they take 2 weeks, but this is the normal time. Like people from New York, when they go to Costa Rica or they go to Mexico, they're planning 10 days or 14 days. Who has the luxury? You said like I was 8 months in Thailand. I mean, bro, to be very honest, you worked also hard for that. I think you were a barkeeper back in your life, huh? So you're back. I hear you. Good. But your cam is off if you want to. Okay.
No, it's good.
So you were the barkeeper and you know that it was like working from shifts and nightlife and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And then when you had like for a longer weekend off, like let's say they gave you Monday and Tuesday off or something like this. Then you were like, well, I have 2 days more off. And now we're talking about like 8 months and 6 months and 5 months. I'm already like, I have been now back in Mexico since 4 or 5 months, 6 months, 5 months. I don't even know. I can't even remember. But I go with the flow. If I like it here, I stay here. And we have to be very thankful for that, man. I think also a lot of people watching this podcast, they say, how did you do? And I tell them always like, you need to stick to your real values and your real dream in life. I think if people understand what kind of dream they have to stick to it and make it happen. There's always a way to make it happen. I want to encourage everyone watching these videos that you have been a barkeeper. I have been a salesman at MediaMarkt. Everyone from Germany knows MediaMarkt. I was the typical MediaMarkt guy. Like I came home, my feet were stinky like cheese. I was like, my shoes. But now,
I know
no shoes anymore.
From long bar sessions. Yeah.
So, and then I remember that I worked very hard to say like, wait, the first thing I need to be is like, I need to establish this dream in my head. And I need to accept that I have that dream. The most important thing, if people ask you like, how could we live that life? I think your answer is pretty similar. It's like, accept that you want to have a different life. And I see that with my New Yorker clients. I see that with my Miami clients or Los Angeles clients. They say, I can't. Wait, the moment you say you can't, you limit yourself. Yeah. You limit yourself by saying like, I can't. Why you cannot? I mean, you have been a barkeeper. I have been a salesman. Now I'm chilling here in Puerto Escondido. You chilling in Copangan. You having your own company. I have a own company. Why you limit yourself by saying I can't? The moment you say I can't, you're not allowing yourself to say, I can make it happen. And this is very important. I want to encourage everyone in this podcast because we're talking a lot. I want always to see that we are also normal guys. We are just normal guys. Like we have been normal guys like everyone else. And we're not something special.
Not super smart.
No, I think we are very normal guys, bro.
Yeah. But let's dive into this topic maybe, Alexandros, because this is we really also in our coaching, Nadia and me, we talk a lot about how you talk to yourself and what kind of wording you use. And so many people struggle with it. And not just like the people who have a normal job, a 9 to 5. It's also like the entrepreneurs. But then there it's more like health related or in the relationship or in the spiritual expansion. So, but it all starts with the words you use. So maybe you can give us insight in your growth when you've been like in the media market, and you also have these thoughts. I can't, yeah, because I also had
Yes,
it.
of course.
You know,
I still have them.
so what?
I still have
We
them.
still have them. So
Yeah.
so what's this? Is there like a routine or ritual or something like a technique when you see it and when you observe it with yourself that you can use to get out of it?
So that's my honest opinion, because that's something I want to tell everyone if they want to change their life. I think the first thing you should do is get off of social media for a while, because social media gives you a very wrong image about how things work in the real life. I mean, I was like, the last time online, I need to check. I think my last reel is from October or something like this. Maybe September, October. So October, November, December, January, February, March, April. It's more than a half a year now. I have not been posting on Instagram. And sometimes I watch and I do like this.
Yeah.
I take now this banana for like, this is an iPhone. Oh, wow, this guy. Oh, what? He just took like 12 days to do backflip and split, and like 12 days. And I start to feel bad. I'm like, just 12 days? And then I'm checking his profile. He's a super athlete since 2010. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, to sell his online course, he says like in 12 days you can do backflip. Okay, maybe you can do a backflip, but the backflip that you do, you don't do after 12 days. And then I check the next video. Make $10,000 a month. I'm like, whoa, $10,000 a month? This is a lot of money. It's not that easy. I know how to make 10,000, but it took me 10 years, yeah? So, and maybe some people say, stupid, why it took you 10 years? It can do 6 years or 5 years, but it cannot take you 1 month. That's the thing. And what I want to tell people, like how I did in the media market, was turn your direction, your view more to the people who are more real, more authentic, or more grounded. I think what happens now with the new generation is they see something online, they say like, oh my God, this guy is so good, I'm so bad. Yeah, of course, everybody out there online looks super professional, super fantastic, like super cutting reels and super big numbers. And then you feel like, oh my God, I'm nobody. Even me, I feel this sometimes. So the most important thing is like, first realize, what is your own world looking like? Like in MediaMarkt, I realized, okay, I'm 18 years old, I'm 19 years old. I can go now have a separate path. Like in business, I can go to MediaMarkt in Berlin, apply for a bigger position. But also what I realized is like, this is the most important thing I want to tell people, is like, start to feel while you breathe, what is really important for my life? Do you want a good relationship? Do you want family? Do you want business? Do you want a house? Do you want to travel? And then also digest those emotions before you look outside what other people do and how other people got successful and what Robin does and Nadia and Alexandros. Wait, what I do and you do has nothing to do with you right now in this podcast. Just take this one moment and feel what you want in your life. Because I'm meeting people, like a lot of people around the world, they don't have social media, they don't use WhatsApp, they don't do any in online business. They work in Australia, for example, like made $50,000 in 3 years, and then they're traveling for 3 years, and they look very happy. So, but what I think is happening right now is like a lot of people, they're watching their phones, and they compare themselves nonstop with other people instead of saying, I take this phone away, and I might take a week or 10 days or 14 days to feel and write down my feelings and my emotions and what I feel, what I'm going through, where's my skill, what do I want? And then something happens, because it happened to me now the last months. You start to come very close to who you are. Like, what do you really like? For example, for me, I have such a big desire right now to go back to Europe, to see my family, to spend a lot of time with them, see my friends, not posting about it. No need to show like what I eat and what I have here in the background and where I'm living. It's so not necessary for me right now. But there was a time in my life it helped me also to grow my business. But what helps me the most at the moment, and what I suggest everyone listening, is like, take a little bit more time for yourself. Take a little bit more time during the day. Also, when you go to the toilet, don't have your phone with you when you shit. Just enjoy the shitting. Like, and then when you take the shower, then enjoy washing your hair. Also feel your hair. There's a lot of men, they don't have hair anymore. So if you have hair, grab that hair and be thankful. When you brush your teeth, just be thankful that you have healthy teeth. Look at your healthy color and your nice like energy. Like you're doing something for it. You're leaving the house, you go to the beach, you're training, you're doing your meditation, you do your breath work. I think what I see mostly by traveling with my clients and also being a lot around the world, Europe and here and there, I think people don't take the time anymore to just feel who they really are. Because once you feel who you are, you know also way better who you want to be and what you want to become. But if you're also constantly like all the time in the outside world and sending messages and business and I need to make this and make that, wait, just take one step back just for 2-3 minutes a day at several spots of your day, like in the morning, midday, evening, and just feel who you are. And this is what I did in MediaMarkt too. When I stopped in MediaMarkt, to answer your question, I stopped in MediaMarkt because I had this kind of summer holidays with my family in Greece. And there was this beach in Greece and my parents took me every day there. We drove with the car. I was still young. I was like 18 and I finished my MediaMarkt time. I had an education in MediaMarkt, Ausbildung. Like I finished my education. I went with my parents to Greece. And then I realized there is something I feel when I'm not in MediaMarkt. I want to be on the water. I want to be on the beach. I need sun, light, and kind of nature. And when I went back to Berlin, I realized that even if I end up in Berlin for many years, I did for 19, 20, 20, 5 years, there was always this feeling of I need to be more in the nature. I need to be more in the sun. So what I realized is by manifesting this idea, one day I'm going to live in the beach or one day I live on the ocean or walking in the sand without shoes. I think I did a big mistake because I was also back in Berlin, like distracted by a lot of like how to be successful and all these things. And also had my first relationship, which failed. But today what I would do is like, if I could go back, I would take more distance to what's happening outside and what's happening in the world and the news, and more thinking about like, what do I really want from my life? Because when you break it down, there's not so much time. I mean, we are now already 30 years old, or I'm 37. You are like, are you older than me or younger?
Same, 1978.
I'm also 87. Which month you are?
March.
Which March?
Pisces. 17th March.
I'm 5 of March.
Ah, nice.
It's funny because the guy in the Airbnb next to us, next to me, is 5 of March, same like me. Funny. And
crazy.
Brother, to answer that question, like if I could go back, I mean, we had a different time. When you were 18, 19, there was not so much social media. So I'm not pointing on the social media and saying that social media is bad. I think social media is amazing if you do content and provide information like Joy Dispenza, all these big guys, and you even, I put you on the same stage because at some point you are going to be the new Joe Rogan in Germany or Copenhagen or wherever, you know, like it is possible because you have that kind of energy to, I mean, we have to be honest. You are consistent, you have discipline, you're building this very nicely, even through having a big public breakup, you're building this company with your partner, which is amazing to see what you do. I mean, there's like crying in front of the camera, sharing this process. Bravo, you're like an amazing individual and I'm really appreciating you. And you know exactly that it has not only to do with the mindset that you have, it has to do that the mindset is aligned with your actions. If I say like, okay, tomorrow I go to the gym and I tell myself for 1 week I go to the gym, but I don't go to the fucking gym, it doesn't matter if you signed up for the gym. You need to go to the fucking gym. So all this esoteric, like what we have in Tulum or like everywhere we have this kind of esoteric, you need to manifest it. You can manifest it as the one half. The other half is to fucking do the work. And this is what I realized in my life. I try to talk less about my manifestation and always try to get very close to the actions from my manifestation. If I want to go now to Europe, I need to prepare that trip. I need to pay the tickets. I need to make it happen. I need to book the flights. I need to see if my parents are available, my friends in Ibiza. And I need to communicate. Just manifesting, I'm gonna be in Europe. That doesn't work. So I want people to be very real and honest with themselves. And when you take the time back for yourself, like if you're taking 5 minutes out of your day instead of scrolling on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and you're taking 5 minutes to just sit down and say like, what do I want from my week? How do I imagine my evening tonight or my weekend, or what is what I need to do for myself? Oh, I should do maybe some walking in the evening, or going to have some breathing, like without telephone, and just consuming fresh air. And I tell you, 5 minutes per day is a lot, because most of the people, they don't have any more like 1 minute for themselves, because they wake up like this.
Yeah.
What's good? Then their eyes are still not open, and you have that phone in your face. And I see that with my clients. The first things we do is like, describe me, how does your day look when you wake up? And they're writing this down, and they feel like, oh, fuck, I feel a little bit ashamed to say, but I'm taking my phone to the toilet. I'm like, why do you feel ashamed? Why you feel ashamed for saying that? They're like, yeah, because it's not right. I said, and so why you do it? And I think this is a very important question that you ask yourself very honestly. You don't even need to answer this to your colleagues or to your family or to public, or making a story about, oh, I go with my phone to the toilet. Just answer to yourself in a private moment, why do I do what I do? And I think this is where the mind thoughts and the mind talking comes into the conversation, what we have right now. How do you talk with yourself? I mean, it's a process. I mean, people watching this podcast, they feel, this guy is talking easy now, has here like a pool, and the other guy in Kopangan, and they're like super like esoteric. No, but we also had to do the work, and we still do all the work. It's a lot of work, but I love the work. I love the work.
Yeah, I can feel it. I can feel it from Mexico to Thailand. So, thank you for answering these questions. And I think that this is a kind of a blueprint you just gave us. So to focus on the values you have. So when I want to go to the beach or live at the beach, okay, what I'm willing to do for that. And also when you when you work in a media market or in any 9-to-5 job, or also in a relationship, maybe you don't like anymore, you can ask yourself, okay, is this the right surrounding for me right now? And if there is a no, then change it. And also like what you just said now, it's really important to get the focus on your dreams, but also do the work and put the work into it. So thank you, Alexandros, because it's really inspiring. Yeah, just like you talk to yourself, and I have the same thing, with our clients. We always ask them, so what are you doing the first thing in the morning? And then we go to Slack. I will check what in the business, what is new, or Telegram and Instagram. But they know already deep inside themselves, this is not the right ritual in the morning, because how you start your day, so your day unfolds as well. So when you start your day with not being focused, with being distracted, then it's like a red line going through your day, And so you just need to ask yourself, how do I want to show up in this day? How do I want to show up, and how do I want to live, and how do I want to end this day as well? And this is a big thing. But therefore, you need, like, for me, you need the stillness, and the stillness also without the social media. I don't know if you. I just told you I deleted all my social media accounts like 6 months ago. Exactly because of that. I was always like comparing and asking myself, why I'm not there, why I'm not this, why I'm not that. And then I said, okay, do I need social media for my business? And everything was like, yeah, you need it. Without social media, you can't get any clients and blah, blah, blah. And that's why I make this point. So, okay, no, I challenge myself now how to get clients without social media, how to make long form content and inspire the people instead of making reels or short posts. I want to prove myself, I want to prove myself, and I can tell you it's possible. It's possible to get clients without stories, without posts, without, even without podcasts. And without content.
I mean, you live also in a place like Kopangan. There's like so many people coming. They feel your energy. There's one thing that I want to tell you, because I think there is people out there, they will say like, no, it's not that easy. You cannot just make a change. And I want to tell those people listening your podcast, and I think there's a lot of people definitely trapped there's a lot of people out there, they think they cannot do something because this and this and this is not working for them. The system is not working for them. The government is not working. They have no money. That's something I hear so much from young people. I say, I can't do that because I have no money. Like, listen, money is a very energetic thing. Like if you go out there and you provide and you serve and you do something, money is coming to you. Maybe just $5 and then $50 and $100. But at some point, if you get better in what you do, if you're providing a solution, people are going to hire you for your skills. That's something that I saw because I was 6 years on a world trip without money. And I was never driven by making money because I had no money and I didn't need money because I needed food. I needed a sleeping place and I needed a bicycle that worked. And then I could cycle like a funny, happy guy around the world. And so my focus was never money, and always money was there. People gave me $100, $200. Somebody gave me $500. My biggest donation was $2,500. Sponsors, flight tickets. And I never asked for that. I never went to people and sold something. And also, this is what I want to tell people. Like, if you're like stuck somewhere and you say like, I can't, and this is not possible because, wait, remove this because, and go back and ask yourself really a very honest question. It helps you a lot. I use that question all the time. What is it really that holds you back? What is it really that tells you that you cannot make something happen? I have, for example, a client now in San Francisco. She works since 15 years for a big company. It's a very famous company. I don't mention the name. It's not important. It's a fintech company, and she's getting very high up there. And she says like, but I'm dreaming to have my own startup. And I say to her like, and why do you don't have? It's like, yeah, I don't have investors. She just gives me all the reasons why she has not the startup, why she has not the startup. I said, give me reasons why this startup is going to be successful. And she gives me a list of like 25, 30 things like this, because the technology is innovative and it's better, etc. I said, so on the other side of your list is the things that you don't have. Why you focus so much on the things that you don't have? Why you don't switch your view and say like, wow, I have all these top skills, I have all these top metrics, and everything would be perfect if I have the other side. Because once you focus on the things that you have, for example, you are in a job right now. Let's take a very concrete example. Let's say Marcus, 38 years old in Zurich, is in a job, has good money, good job, but he's not happy. He wants to travel. He wants to live the life in Copenhagen. So you can see now all the things that you don't have. But wait, you have a good job in Switzerland. You have a good surrounding maybe there with the right people. If you don't, change it. But it's very important to understand. So now you have that in Switzerland. You have everything. And you focusing right now on the things you don't have, just turn your way and say like, okay, my job, how much money I can make until end of the year or like until next year. Wow, I can make 50,000 Switzerland franken. Wow, this is enough in Copenhagen for 10 months. So you could start to do that, right? You could think about like, hey, I make now the next 6 months or 8 months, and then I go to Copenhagen for a trial for 3 months. So, but what I see with many people is they don't even want to see the good things they have in life. They focus a lot. They focus a lot on the negativity, on the bad things, on this, and this. And I think it's very important to understand that when you do the focus on the bad things, there's no way that you make difference. If you focus all the time on the bad things, if you focus all the time on the things that don't work in your life, how you want to make a difference? It will not help you. Because when I saw my life in MediaMarkt, I had this time where I felt like, shit, I'm just 18. I will never have a better position here. I took all the negative things. But then what happened in Greece when I took the time for myself, this is why I want to where I want to close the circle. My mother and my father told me, you were the youngest employee. You were already so young and so successful in MediaMarkt. You got so good references. You studied something which is like has a future everywhere, like being a salesman. And then I started to see all the positive things and I was like, wow, I never saw those positive things of my life. And this has also to do for me a lot with gratitude. You can be right now in a shitty situation thinking like, oh, Robin and Alexandros living their life there and I don't. But wait, you're living in Switzerland, you're having like a good life, you have a good house, you have like food, you can afford to go out on the weekend. Just what happens is you need to shift your priorities. If you want to have a different life, then put your focus on the priorities that matter to you. You want different friends? Start to interact with new circles. Start to interact with people that you admire. Start to reach out to people where you feel like, hey, they are more your kind of energetic vibe or tribe. But what I cannot accept anymore with many people is if they complain, man. Because complaining, I know that from my own life, complaining doesn't bring you anywhere. And focusing on negativity, like my client did in San Francisco, like all the negativity and all the things she doesn't have, you have so much more on the other side. Turn around and focus energetically on the good things, and also your energy will become very different. This is the same for me, man. When I have this avena, I found it yesterday in Chetraui. I was so happy. I'm like, I found the avena. This is a good one. And then there was somebody next to me, buying stuff. He just bought like this in the box. And I looked at him. This guy's not even happy. Like, he comes back from work, buys all this stuff. But it's not normal that you go into a fucking supermarket and get everything you want. I've been in places in the world where I know, like, people, they have never seen a fucking avena, like oat milk. They have never seen something like a dessert or like something delicious. Like, they eat rice and beans. Like, I know so many places in Mexico where people have just like little opportunities. So especially our audience listening this kind of podcast, I would like to suggest those people, like, hey, remove the complaining, focus on the good things in your life, and also write down the good things. Write down that you have a bed, that you have a shower, that you can go to shit, that you can brush your teeth, that you have money for your car, that you pay your insurance. And obviously, if you don't want that kind of life because you say, I don't want to pay taxes, I don't want to have insurances, okay, but listen, your complaining will not change that. Like, bitching around will not make any fucking difference.
Yeah, it's also about the frequency. When you complain, the frequency is really low. Just when you take any complaint you just have right now in your life. So when you just speak out, it's not feeling good, you know?
No, it's feeling
but
not
when
good
you
now.
say, I'm grateful for this. I'm happy that I can experience this, or that I have this kind of food or this kind of possibility. Just when you talk about it, the frequency is so much higher. So our body feels, our body is the resonance. It gives the resonance to it. So, but you need a consciousness for that. You know, you need a practice for that, to feel that. And that's why I'm so thrilled about the indigenous communities all over the world, not just in South America, but also here in Thailand and everything. They have their rituals. They go in the morning, not on the smartphone. You know, they go in the morning, they see the sun, they see the stars, they see the moon, they see the trees, they give thanks. Yeah, also, one of the main indigenous practices is to give thanks for the nature, to give thanks that I am here, that I have the ground underneath my feet. And this is what we need to establish. And when you live in a city where you just have like beton and cement and stones and everything, you know, how can you connect with this kind of energy? So, and this is really important.
People do it.
It's
I tell you, my mentor, for
possible.
example, in New York does it. Like, he's very good in like living a very his gratitude. But there's also a personality thing. I think what I see right now in a young generation is like complaining becomes a very normal attitude. It's like, you remember when you were young and you were like going to be a barkeeper? Being a cool barkeeper was kind of like cool. It was cool to be a barkeeper, and you were made for this. Right? You're looking good. You're like handsome. You're like, I'm sure you made good cocktails, and being like this kind of like flirty person, you could entertain people. So you were the cool barkeeper. What I feel now is, I feel this in the younger generation especially, it's a little bit cool to be all the time complaining about something. It's a little bit like they're bitching around. Like, I'm going to Chetraui and I see some kids on their phone, and then they like being like, and they're like, oh my God, I want the new iPhone. I'm like, and I'm talking to these kids, like they're like 16, 17, 18. And they're like, I say, what kind of iPhone you have? It's like, this is just the old one. I want the new one. I want the new one. They have the old one. And then you see the face like, and like, why are you not happy for having an iPhone? Because when I was in your age, there was no fucking iPhone. There was like, under 1 minute. Okay, I have to hang on the phone because otherwise I will pay 2 units, you know, like Einheiten, like 29 cent or 39 cent. And when you were under 1 minute, it was cheaper. So today the generation is like, WhatsApp, 5 minutes for free, 10 minutes, audio, video, data for free. So spoiled, right? But what I'm realizing definitely is also about myself is that it's also a natural feeling to sometimes complain, because I have that sometimes. I was in Tulum the last months before I came here. And then I became a little bit bitchy about some things about tourists in the club filming all the time with the iPhone. And then I became a little bit bitchy.
How you use the banana all the time.
The banana is my new iPhone. That's the new iPhone. special edition. So when I was in Tulum, there was all these people like in the clubs filming, and it little bit stressed me. I felt like all the time they're putting cameras around and nobody celebrates. And then my friend from Germany, a professional yoga teacher, Marie, she told me like, you are just the same like them when you start to complain, because you're not enjoying the moment. You're not enjoying what's happening right now if you complain right now about those people. And then I saw myself as the high impact mentor. I felt like, oh my God, even me, I'm a fucking bitch complaining right now, being like a kind of complaining dude. And then I realized she's right. Like, I have no right, first of all, to judge those people. They can do whatever they want. If they feel they need to make a video, let them do. But also for me, it was a little bit like organic, that if you're surrounded by energy, it can get you very easily in, like this is also why I'm taking a lot of care right now in the last months about with who I'm spending time. And I was not that good in a younger age. When I was young in Berlin, I spent with everybody time. I was just like going around in circles and being with people. But today I start to feel like if somebody smokes or drinks or drugs or whatever, how conscious they are, how they talk, how they act in front of people. If they open a door to somebody, like I was yesterday going to the hospital, and I saw like one man open the door for the woman. And then I felt like he didn't need to do that. He was going in, but he saw the other girl coming or the other woman. And then he opened, and it made him very sympathetic. It was very charismatic when you do this. And then also taxi driver, when I hired a taxi driver like 2-3 days ago, he went out of the car, opening the trunk, saying Buenas tardes. And then I feel like I receive a lot. I start to realize more and more how people are. Same with you. I was a little bit too late, like 1 minute, 2 minutes. I logged in and it didn't work, but I was also, I should have been 2 minutes before there. But I saw you already sending me 10 minutes before the meeting, the link. I was like, this says so much about you. This is so respectful to be before the host, before the guest as a host online. And these are all the details. And I want people, especially from that podcast, when they're listening, to understand when you're walking around, just listen more, digest more, see more, and talk less. My mentor always says to me like, Alexandros, for you, it's very important. You have 2 ears, 1 mouth. So more listening, less talking.
Yeah. So this is the big gift also for me from my education. I did the education in Berlin as a hotel specialist. I don't know the English word for it.
Hotelfachmann.
Hotelfachmann. But I worked before I can do this education. I worked for 1 year as a page.
What is this? The guy who is carrying the stuff?
The guy with the hats, taking the suitcases from the people, opening the doors.
But this explains a lot why you're so good with people.
Yeah. So this is the big gift from my education and from my time as a barkeeper and as a waiter as well. So I have this, first of all, I have this sight for everything. I see like the siren.
You have the view.
Where can I do something? So this consciousness, and on the other side, I'm always have this loving kindness through for strangers, because this was my job. The people, they came from all over the world, all races, all people, they came, and I'm like, good morning, can I have your suitcase? I bring it up to you. Here's the restaurant. Here's this, here's that. And
nice.
I'm really, really grateful for this, because I'm still feeling that this has an impact on my work, on my life. And it's all about kindness, to being kind, to being friendly to each other, to see the other human beings as humans, and to just give them compliments, to just open the door. And then you're spreading like this kindness, like this frequency of kindness. They are happy, you are happy, the guy who sees that you are open the door is happy, so it's like vibing around.
True, but Robin, we need to say something about this. To be kind to others, you need to be kind to yourself. And
for sure,
I have to be very honest to you. Like, I had a time in my life, especially after MediaMarkt, after my first separation, after my big relationship, taking a lot of drugs, using drugs to escape, not being kind to myself, the words I used, how I put myself down, how I talked about other people, even talking shit about other people, or being not good to friends who were always being there with me. And then I saw like problems coming into my life more and more. And I know today, because I was shitty to myself, the universe was shitty to me. And this is what I want really to encourage people to not only believe, but to try out. Go every day out and try to be a good person. I guarantee you, my smile is getting so strong because it's so real. It happens in my life all the time. As more as I'm giving, as more I'm serving others, as more I want to be like providing others with solutions and helping, not thinking about if he will be my client or the client from Europe that you saw when we were in the podcast. He came out of nowhere because I was nice. It was not that I called people up and say, hey, buy my package. But 99% of the clients coming to me, they're coming because somehow they come onto my path in life. They're crossing my path, and then it's synchronizing and we're doing business together. But the main reason why they are with me is because I'm a nice guy. It's so simple. Like if you're a nice guy, you attract other nice guys. I mean, look at these two smiles we have. We could make a meme out of this, like just a screenshot. Like, and why? Because there's a lot of good energy coming there. I wish you for your career all the best. I wish you for your healing all the best. I wish you for everything. Like you wish me that everything is good, because obviously when you don't have the social media anymore from the other person, we saw each other the last time like half a year ago. So, and then we clicked on record instantly. So we talk about like our private life right now in front of everybody, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And this is what I want to encourage people. Try to get out and even say to the badass motherfucker in the office that you don't like, hey, Jason, John, how are you? Even if you don't like him, just try to be nice, because you will feel like it hurts maybe your ego. But this guy on the other side of the table, or the girl on the other side of your reception or wherever you work, she's not a bad person. She didn't come to earth to be a devil. She doesn't want to ruin your life. She has also just some challenges in her own life. She has some stress. She doesn't know how to handle it. I tell you, the best thing would be that everybody in the company every morning just goes to his next left and right and makes a big hug, does 5-6 breath work exercises all together, holding hands for 1 minute for gratitude, and starting the day and saying like, and let's now work together. Because what I see definitely from traveling the world is, here's my iPhone. People are walking around like this. And I feel like I'm going now have new rituals in my life since 6 months, 7 months. I don't use my phone anymore when I'm out. I'm not even taking my phone anymore. If I go to a meeting, I tell the people, you need to be there at 8:30 in Porto Escondido, because I come now there, I don't have my phone. Many people who are interacting with me, they know that already. They know that Alexandros has no phone anymore. So I'm leaving from here at 8 o'clock. I come there, 8:25, the people are there. I cannot use my phone. There is no phone. I cannot check any messages. I cannot see any emergency. I don't see any crypto news. I don't see any investment news. I don't see any emergency. I'm out. Oh. I'm now with those people. It's very hard, bro. It's hard because then at some point after 1-2 hours, people ate, the dessert is coming, like the postre, and then people doing the usual thing. Oh, wow, you watch this one. I'm like, wait, why I should watch now a fucking reel? We are together here. We didn't see each other for months. Put your phone to the side. Let's have some good times. Oh, bro, you became so boring, man. Social media is cool. Look at this guy make a backflip. I'm like, bro, I don't know. For me, it's not the time right now being all in real life together watching reels. And then also sometimes you feel like maybe most of my group is like very conscious and don't use phones anymore. But there's always one guy, he's hard for him. It's like a kind of addiction. And I take this kind of dude then to the side in real life. Like I really can give you a real example. I'm taking this guy out of the group and I say like, hey, let's walk with me 5 minutes. I want to tell you something. You can use your phone. You can do it. I didn't want to be harsh on you. I want to apologize if I hurt your feelings. But if you want, we can go tomorrow, like free of costs, everything. Just go to the beach with me and tell me why you think you needed that phone in that moment. What did you want it to find in there which you could not find in the moment with these groups, with the people? And this is a very interesting thing because I go with the guy to the beach and it comes out that he's running away a little bit from stress in his life, relationship, this, parents, here, responsibility, financial, things are not going so good. And then this phone is becoming kind of like a escaping room. Like if I go here, my life is not important anymore. Everything is not necessary anymore to focus on that thing. Like I can escape. It's getting more and more, I feel like, because digital is taking over. You still with us?
Yeah, I'm still with us. My camera, it's kind of a contact problem, but I hear you. So please continue. I will fix it.
So what I want to say, like digital is taking a little bit over. And I think it's also why all these digital detox retreats getting more and people learn how to not use the phone. And there's like in Costa Rica, I saw a guy charging like $10,000 for 2 weeks, bringing big guys from New York and general finance people to Costa Rica and helping them to detox from digital phones. And the people need to leave their phone in the hotel room, and they go out digging in the soil, and you feel like, what? People pay $10,000 to learn how to unuse the phone? But yes, they do. Because for some people, this device is taking over their life. It's not anymore, I decide right now to say like, okay, let's check the mails. It's 10 o'clock. I had already my first matcha or tea or coffee. I had my training. It's time to get into business. Okay, 10 o'clock. Oh, priority. Yes, this email I need to answer. Oh, yeah. No, the reality is people waking up. And so the device has power over you. You don't have power over the device. And this is what I see also in my work now, is a new focus for me. I want to offer way more strategies and tactics and ideas how to get rid of this desire that you need to use your phone. And I think the first thing is like, ask yourself why you really need your phone. Like, especially if you work in a company and you work in a company as an employee and you have a fixed salary and you go at 9 o'clock to the office. To be very honest, until 9 o'clock to be in the office, you don't need your phone. You can wake up to breakfast, to meditate, to breath work, to sports, use it for their Spotify or whatever. But to really interact and posting stuff and searching stuff and doing stuff in the morning, I don't see any reason why you should do that. Like, it's my opinion. If somebody can tell me now a real reason why in 7 o'clock in the morning, your eyes are half open, you're putting this screen in your face, then I'm asking myself, like, what is the real reason you're using it? If you give me a good answer, cool, we are cool. But I think what I did the last half a year asking people, they don't have an answer. They don't have a good answer on this. And especially people employed somewhere, for them it's very hard to just admit, I have an issue with my phone. I have a strong addiction. I'm getting some kick out of it to see a new reel, or somebody messaged me or liked my stuff. And we don't even talk about posting stuff directly in the morning, like, hi, here's my breakfast, and this is this, and this is this, and this is this. The nervous system is I tell these stories because I was very heavy into social media during my bike trips. And I felt that my nervous system was always way too high. Like, and you are working with this. You are like a breathwork instructor. You know about nervous system. You are good guys, bro. You know, you can tell people about how important it is to calm the nervous system, to calm down, because you can get easily like long damages from your nervous system if you are like too much, constantly on a too high frequency. Stress. I think stress is one of the... Oh, wait. Your microphone. You put your microphone off.
Sorry.
Okay.
Just I want to say it's also really important to rebuild the connection with your body. And when you're always like out of the body with your phone, with your laptop, with any things which not matter in the moment, so you're not connected with your body. So, and I want to tell you a story. I was on a psilocybin retreat last year.
Nice.
For online entrepreneurs, and we've been like 10 entrepreneurs. And I know these guys, you know, I did a lot of retreats for them in the past. And so some business corporations as well. So and then we met there. And the first thing the facilitator says, please give me your smartphones. And everyone was like giving the smartphones. And then we've been like 5 days in the nature without smartphones. And like the first days, we had so many moments like, yeah, I can show it. I can show you the picture, or I can show you the video. Oh, no smartphone anymore. Okay, no, but I can describe it to you. It was like this and like that. And the connection in between us, it was so strong after this 5 days, because we are just like using humor, using stories, using our emotions to connect, and not our phones. And this is really, really important, because what you just said, I really have this really often, and I do it myself as well. Here, look at this. Look at this guy. Even when I don't have social media anymore, there's YouTube. You know, I have YouTube, I have podcasts, and I can always show you something, you know. Here, this is really inspiring. But maybe it's a good tool
I know
to
it for
describe
myself.
it. Yeah.
There's always an opportunity to use the banana and show on the iPhone what's going on.
Yeah, but it's a kind of insecurity because I'm not
True.
so good like in telling stories maybe or in describing something so that other people can understand it. So, and this is where it can grow. Okay, when I take your phone now for the next 24 hours, how would you communicate with your
I like
partner,
this.
with your children, with your business partners?
I like that with you, you make yourself vulnerable about this point because that's true. What happened with me when I came back from New York, and I think my mentor inspired me a lot to think about more getting offline and fixing my business and optimizing my business, working more on my business, not in my business.
Yeah.
And what happened is what you said right now is very important. What can people do without the iPhone when it's about, hey, don't show me the best reel you found or the best YouTube clip. Tell me the best story of your week. And I think this is also something that I realize now I'm getting when I go to meetings or I'm meeting people. After a certain time, they look at me and say like, hey, you don't have a phone? I'm like, no, I just started something a few months ago that I want to look more into your eyes. And then when you talk, I want to let you more talk and ask questions and letting also space in between. And what I realize is has also to do a lot with the people that I'm surrounding myself, like good professional people in their industry, like physiotherapists, human design, yoga teachers, calisthenic people, circus athletes. And
Wow.
what happens is I also see myself back in the time, and this is very honest what you said, that it has to do with insecurity. Like somebody needs to show you something on the phone or showing you this or showing you this. It's because himself or herself cannot anymore bring something to the table or to the debate or the discussion without using this device. So also the quality of people is getting, I would say, higher when you start to see like when people don't use their phone, they talk better, they talk more deep, they talk about more interesting stuff. They don't need the phone to show you something. They don't need to present something like artificially with a digital thing. They can just communicate through a story, through like an experience they had. And I agree with you. When I look at myself without talking about other people right now, just pointing on myself, when I used a lot of things like social media to show others or going on tables and showing YouTube clips and stuff like this, it is because I could not fill that space with my personality. I could not bring any value on that table without using my phone. That's true. And it's very interesting because once you realize that how much value we all have, how much stories we all have, how much we can bring to the table through our own lives without using the lives of social media, that's very powerful. That what you experience in this retreat with the guys, what you mentioned was like you connected deeper, you explained, you described, you started to storytelling. That's so powerful because when we grew up, man, like there was no phones and stuff like this. It was meeting on a football field or like on a basketball court and saying like, hey, Robin, how was your day? And like, oh man, you know what happened in school? And then, you know, she jumped from there and I went there. And then, well, you know what? This guy came into the classroom, he said this. And today you do like, I mean,
Yeah.
the quality of life, the quality of life is getting in my own life since months, since half a year, 7, 8 months, something like this, is getting so much higher. And I tell you something, this is a very nice side effect of not using my phone since so long, because it's a long time for this society today. 6, 7, 8 months is a huge amount. I think it's 7.5 months, something like this. And
wow.
There's one side effect which I have never experienced because I was also since the age of 19, 20, like 10 years online. But my mind is so calm, like I'm so more chilled. I'm so more like relaxed. My sleep is better. 100% my sleep is better. Then when I wake up and I don't use my phone, I use my phone, I have a philosophy. I want the first 45 to 65 minutes during the day when I wake up to just be with myself and maybe going to the pool or just not even doing a yoga session or fitness, like just be with myself, be with my thoughts, be with my, what is today the emotion that I have? How was my night? How a little bit like cozy, like starting the day with like emotional confrontation about how was my sleep and my life and how is my day starting and what is the intention for the day. And then when I use the phone, when I take it and I have already sit down on my laptop, my Mac is open. I'm asking myself, like, what is the first thing I really need to do? So it's my emails. That's my thing. I need to check my emails. I do this since 15 years and I love my emails. So I check and I open the mail, but then I also put the phone away and I ask myself, how much important things you saw? And then I saw maybe 1 or 2 emails, which I feel like, okay, they have importance. But then I'm also taking another 5 minutes and asking myself, how am I going to answer them? Do I need to answer them? Do I really need to interact now with them? Okay, then when I see that everything is cool, I might ask myself if I want to restructure my day, maybe saying like, okay, there's not so much work. My client is at 5 o'clock. I can have like a nice long walk on the beach. I can take like time for myself, cooking something very big, like 2-3 hours cooking in the kitchen. And then there's somewhere the time slot which I say like, let's answer this email. And then very clearly also looking at this email and asking like, how would I like to answer that email? And then sometimes I feel like I'm gonna ask him for an appointment to talk with him about this email. This is a very private question. I don't want to answer it in a text. So I'm suggesting like, do you want to call next week? Book yourself in my calendar. And I'm starting to realize that from removing myself, especially from a lot of internet exposure and internet consumption, because it's a lot of consuming, my mind became so light that I became also very sensitive about what I do, what I put into my mind. Like, you know, you have definitely those friends too who send you reels or like YouTube videos, but like many, like every week they send you a few of them. And then I watch some of them, but then also sometimes I stop and I don't comment them. I don't watch them to the end, or I don't watch the YouTube video. And what I started to realize is, man, this is like, I want to share this with your audience because you have also a very conscious audience. They want to do like biohacking and development. But it's not money and it's not like traveling and it's not like having a swimming pool or a MacBook. The most precious thing you have in life, the most valuable asset is your time with yourself. How is your time with yourself? Do you like to spend time with yourself? And I love to spend time with myself. I love to do things for myself and then also, because once you share that quality time with yourself and you're like full of energy, like I did from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I knew we have Monday, they call. So I can give all this energy to the people. They can really feel this energy now. And why? Because I'm spending this time with myself in so high quality. How I think, how I eat, how I breathe, how I shit, how I sleep, how I communicate. And that's something like, I think that's something that I want to bring to the world more. I want to show people like, hey man, less is more. That's my new slogan, like less is more. You don't need so much.
Less is more.
Less is more, man. You know, in German, when we say weniger ist mehr, I was always laughing about this. As a kid in Germany, I was like, no, there's Hollywood movies. I need to be a millionaire. I need to have a Ferrari. I need to have a Rolex. I have to have a big house. And now I feel like, bro, just give me like a nice, comfy, like bungalow or like casita. Give me like a pool, give me a beach, give me coconut, give me like sports, and give me a few more things, and that's it. I don't need a lot. I'm so happy. I could die right now, and I feel like, okay, it's my time. You take me up there, okay. Thank you for everything.
I love this kind of mindset. Less is more. And it's also which will save the world, I think. Because now it's more like more is more and more. And I can feel it, especially here on the island as well. So many people are coming here to the small island, buying land, building resorts. And I feel like this kind of capitalism, but also like, okay, I come there and I build and I make business.
Read.
Yeah.
Not
and
getting
here
enough.
you see it in the small island. Okay, nature becomes less. The air becomes polluted. So many people here. You see not so many locals as well. So this is also complaining right now, for sure.
A little bit, but also
you
you see development, which you're witnessing this. You seeing this with your own eyes. You are there since many years. I know from you that you are not somebody who came yesterday there and booked an Airbnb. I think you are very almost local there. I mean,
and in Tulum, I think it's the same procedure and all this kind of bubble, you know. Yeah, for sure. We can talk about this for 1 hour right now. But what I want to say, I see it on this small scale But I can also feel it on the bigger scale. Yeah, we're talking about rainforest, deforestation, a lot of changing in the naturescapes and everything. So, and we need to address this problem. Better yesterday than tomorrow. And but we need to address it inside ourselves. And there we're coming back to the insecurities. So when you take the smartphone all the time, or we talk about the smartphone, maybe it also can be like the bottle of beer or a cigarette or a joint or anything else, which keeps you away from looking at this shadow, looking at this, facing these insecurities. And I think this is where the work should go through. And you do it really good in the morning. You are staying with yourself. Yeah. And sometimes maybe you have a good morning and you're feeling overwhelmed and good and everything. And sometimes you have this shit morning and you feel insecure and you feel like you have fears. And it's also really important to be with that, to have kind of practice, breathwork, meditation, or just sitting there or talking to people like counseling or something like that. So, but we need to heal this wound inside ourselves that we need more, and to try to live with less, to live with nature, to live without smartphones like the most of the day. Yeah, I don't say like put your smartphone to the garbage, but maybe you can really use it just like for your business or just to phone your mom or your best friend back in Germany. And then it's another use of this kind of tools,
But this has also to do a lot of education. For example, what I see right now, especially like in countries like Mexico, or you go like, even if you go to Greece, like in the States, the same, I think everywhere in the world, somehow people have the idea that if you want to be somebody, you need to be big, you need to be successful, you need to be this. But the real question is like, what does it mean to be successful? What does it mean? I mean, if I go to New York and somebody calls success financially, I'm a loser. These guys making like $100 million with their companies. I cannot have any, not even close to it. But then they look at me and they say like, you are so rich because you live on the beach. So it's always a definition thing. But what I agree with you is like, also the world is growing and people want like their own car. They want to fly on holidays. They want to have this. They want to have this. There's a lot of, I think the word is consumption. There's a lot of consumption. Like there's a lot of consuming. I read yesterday that there's, I think, like 300 million cups of when you drink coffee to go. Like every day there's like 300 million of these paper bags, like cups.
Paper cups. Yeah.
Paper cups, yeah. And I was like, wow. So people could just bring their own. Million. They could all bring their own, like, people do that. You see a lot of people going to Starbucks or other coffee places and they bring their own thing and put their cup in their own coffee. The interesting thing is, it's not the majority. The majority doesn't do that, right? The majority goes, buys it, and throws away after 5 minutes of drinking. So what I witnessed in the last years, especially like, first of all, we're getting more digital and everybody sees the life of the other. But also the narrative which is getting promoted is not about be sustainable, buy secondhand clothes, be humble. To be very honest, if you're opening now a Netflix movie or go to the cinema, or Hollywood movie or Bollywood movie or whatever movie, it's all about like consumption and boom and boom. And then there's these guys like you with a small podcast and other guys with a small podcast. They're saying like, be more conscious, do breath work. But if you go into mainstream and also go to schools, what they're teaching you in schools? Bro, when I was in school, everybody told me I have to be successful, I have to make money to buy a house, to have a family, to believe in church, and then pay my bills and pay my taxes. And blah, blah. Nobody was teaching me about how to laugh, how to build relationships, how to take care about my body. They didn't even teach me about nutrition, bro. I came with like pancakes, 9 o'clock in the morning. I bought pancakes in the cafeteria with Nutella. And I ate them and my teacher was looking, oh, they look delicious. Wow, wait. I was like 12 years old. You should have said like, this is way too much sugar, man. It's like fucking 2 centimeters of Nutella on my pancake. And then I drink a Mezzo-Mix or Spezi. You remember this one, Spezi?
Yeah. Spezi.
Half a liter of Spezi. And then when somebody gave me a piece of apple or banana, I was like, I don't want fruits. Wait, if my kid is going to school and this teacher motherfucker is telling them like, oh yeah, take the pancakes and the Nutella and the Spezi and the Coca-Cola, something is wrong. Something is definitely wrong, man. So I think it's...
But even the doctors, they're doing it. Even the doctors, they're doing it because they don't learn about nutrition. Most of the doctors in their education and in their on the university, they don't learn about nutrition if they're not specialized in it. So, but then they give you like recommendations for your health. Yeah, take the jab and take this pill and take this.
There's a nice podcast with you know him definitely. He's living also in Kopangan, like Misha Janitz, like from Chainless Life.
Yeah.
And there's a podcast with a guy who was studying medicine, and he says like most of the 80% of the medicine studies is about like learning books, like theory, like they don't learn anything about practice.
Chemicals.
And it's like exactly. This is what he said. It's about like how to medicate people, how to give medication. And then, I mean, if we're getting into this, it's getting very deep because it's with all the metrics and all this kind of like how things are working. But I have to be very honest to you. It's true. When you see the world like how it is today, it's crazy how it's obvious to me that some things from the top coming down and we're just listening and we're just being like modern slaves, right? But there's also the other side that I also respect my brother for. He always tells me like, hey, Alexandros, a guy like you living this kind of cosmopolitan, open-minded lifestyle, 300 years ago, they would just kill you. So today you have so much privilege, so much opportunities to educate. Hey, man, the truth is like 250 years ago in south of Germany, if you had red hair, they would just put you in the Scheiterhaufen, or like they would just burn you. Yeah. So if you see what kind of time we're living today, that somebody like you or me can talk and put it on Twitter or X, or even Elon Musk can watch this tomorrow. Like I have a friend who knows Elon Musk in Canada. If I want that Elon Musk is watching this podcast for like 2 minutes, I can make that happen. This is a very big difference from 200 years ago, because nobody would have ever met Elon Musk, because you have wrote a letter which took like 16 days to get somewhere, and maybe he would find out. So there's always this kind of double, like, like the times today are like very wild, and climate change and all these things they're telling us, and all the pollution and the forest. And on the other side, it's like us as human being, we have so much power. Like everyone listening to this podcast can make a difference in his life by reducing like the cups, recycling, flying less, being more conscious, cooking more at home, changing their nutrition. How much you can change by changing your nutrition. I mean, I live for a reason also in tropical countries, because when I go back to Greece, I don't buy mangoes and pineapple and stuff like this, because it's not from there. So I try to be very local. I mean, you live in a place which is perfect for your food. I mean, you have maybe one of the best foods in the world in my eyes. Like Thailand has for me one of the best foods ever. So, and then what you said, like reducing the beer or the drugs and all this and smoking, it's true. But you know what comes with it? And it's also what I feel why many people struggle. You need to make a difference. You need to sacrifice something. And people are not easy to sacrifice, because also the educational system is not telling people to sacrifice. It's more like take more loans, take more money, make more this, buy another car. My friends in Germany, they are couples and have 2 cars. Why the fuck do you have 2 cars?
Crazy.
Why?
Yeah.
Why would you need that? And then, then they have like maybe even a summer house somewhere, which is empty because they don't want to rent it out. And I feel like, wow, this is like so much. You own so much. And
it was so crazy. Alexandros, I was living with Nadia in Switzerland for half a year in Tessin, like in the Italian part in the south. It's amazing, but we've been there in the winter, and we've been on the lake, and surrounded by empty villas, surrounded by empty houses. It was crazy. We could like walk through the gardens and through the houses and everything, because everything was open, but no one is there. And I was like, why? Why? How is this possible? So we've been like, by feeling, we've been the only people who are living there on the mountain. Everything else was empty. So it's like, this is the society we live in, Still there? Yeah.
We check. I hear you, yes?
Yeah, good. Yeah. Yeah, this was crazy for me. So like this abundance, but which was not used, by human beings. So it was crazy.
I can feel you on this. I was in the south area of Germany near Munich, and what's this, Starnberger See? And there's like one area where all the rich people from the cities have their houses, but they are all empty in the winter time.
Yeah.
And there's a funny story my friend told me. He's like, hey, listen to that. So the people found out that these houses are empty after the summer, after September, people going back to Munich and they don't want to go there anymore because the lake is cold and stuff like this. And then some criminals, they were smart. They were saying like, hey, listen, this big house is empty. So we're just going to pretend that we are a moving company. And we're going there with a kind of fake moving company truck saying like supermovers.com or something like this. They put the flyer on the car and then they went in like dressed and they took all the house out. And then some walking guy was there saying like, hey, what are you doing there? I know these guys. He's like, no, they're moving to Italy. And the guys talked with the guy walking his dog and say like, oh, what? The Myers leaving to Italy? I didn't know. Okay, tell them all the best from Heinz. Was very nice to know them. And this guy walked in for 2-3 hours and taking all the stuff out of the house, bro. Because these houses were empty and nobody cared about it. So I heard that story when I was joining an event there. And I laughed about it because when I walked there, there were so many beautiful houses and you could see there was like nobody. Yeah. It's a luxury problem, definitely. I mean, if you have it's not actually a luxury problem. I think it's a society which is very like privileged, like the Swiss ones or like South German, and the world doesn't look like this. I think when you go to Thailand in a nice area, there's all the nice areas are now built. And also look at Koh Phangan, how many people move there. I think rent's getting more expensive. I heard about Bali also, like Bali is getting very, very pricey and people want to go there.
But it's like European style now, like from the renting prices. So for like 2 bedrooms, you pay like $2,000 or something like that. Yeah.
You know that
depends on the.
Yeah. You know that I live in Mexico now, and I can tell you, like, since 4 years, I see what's going on here. But it's also because the very, very strong Western societies like Canadians and Americans, like from California, they want to come down here and have a chilled life, And it gives the local people opportunities to make money. They feel like, okay, if these people want to come down here, pay. It's the same in Bali. Like if somebody from Europe comes with $50,000 savings and pays $1,500 for his room, or like with his couple he will say, man, it's expensive, but you have the money to pay. So if you pay, the people will charge. It's very interesting because since COVID, you see like after COVID, everybody could work remote. It got more accepted. There's definitely a change in our society. People want to be more free. And for a lot of people to be more free, it comes with having like a healthy lifestyle, like being in the sun, being on the beach, having sunsets, having like warm climate. I mean,
but maybe an honest question for you, because you're also like traveling for so many years and you're originally from Greece, Germany, so your roots are a little bit more than in Europe. And what I question myself in the last days, actually, and last weeks, is why I'm living here in Thailand, or why I'm lived in Mexico and in Brazil. And I feel like the urge now, like for the future, I want to go back to the roots. Like maybe not Germany. I think I'm not ready for Germany yet. But maybe like in Europe, like Portugal, Spain. Also because I'm a little bit near with my family, with my roots, and I'm talking so many times about indigenous tribes, and I was there, I was in Mexico, I was in Brazil, in the Amazon, and I feel like, okay, the people, they lived there for thousands of years, and they know that their great-grandfather, or their grandfather, and the grandfather of the grandfather, and so on, they lived there on this land. They know the same river, they ate the same fish from the river. We lost it kind of, and I feel like the urge in the last time to explore my roots a little bit more, and also like my indigenous grandparents and rituals and stuff. So what about you? You feel this? Or you can feel that?
It's very interesting because I'm going through a big transformation. I think like the last months, I have the very strong sensation that Europe needs us. I feel like Europe is going through a very hard time. I speak with people in Europe constantly. I'm very connected with Europe, like in, let's say, Greece, Germany, Switzerland, England, Portugal, Spain, France. I have a very big network. I love my network. And I feel each time I take the phone and I'm opening the speaker and I put the phone in front of me, I feel also a lot of fears about Russia, Ukraine war, and elections and corruption, and everything gets expensive. And my mom tells me like, it's getting very expensive everywhere, like rents and food. And my little brother, he's very good in cooking. Like he's cooking amazing food. He says like, hey bro, I can tell you all the prices out of my head, from pasta, tuna, butter, vegetables, tomatoes. Like I can tell you everything. And I tell you the price is getting higher, man, like really higher. And so I feel sometimes like what I'm doing here in Mexico, like a foreigner, while my roots, Greece and Germany, people need energy like our energy, you know? Imagine Robins, Nadias, Alexandros, Marias, Sebastians, and all these super high quality people going back into Europe and lifting up the energy of Europe. It can work. It can work, definitely. It can work 100% because our energy there is needed right now. So each time they call me and each time they want to talk, I say, they talk like this. Let's say this is my phone. Like, hey, bro, you know what? I'm right now in Leipzig, and wow, all this AfD topic and the right wing, all this is fucking me out. I'm like, hey, bro, breathe, chill. No, there's nothing to chill anymore, and also like the tax is going on, and then I don't even see his face, but I know that he's stressed. And after this call, he's sending me a message and saying like, hey, this half an hour, 40 minutes with you, this helped me so much to breathe deep and get back and see the positivity, and I can change, and I need to see the positive effect of this, and you are right, I should not focus on this. And I feel like I have a very strong desire to go back to Europe and really help people to see things from a different perspective, because there's something I will never forget about Europe. First of all, we have so many different cultures. That's amazing. There is no place in the world where you go just from Amsterdam to Frankfurt, from Frankfurt to Vienna, and then to Milan, and then to Barcelona, and then to Zurich, and then to Warsaw, and then to like Bucharest, and then to Serbia, and you can go Novi Sad, and you go there, and you can even hit a little bit Istanbul, and you go there and there. I mean, that's crazy. It's crazy what kind of culture we have in Europe. I mean, I walk through Amsterdam, then I sit into a train express with TGV and go to Paris, or I go to Belgium, or I hit Berlin, or I don't even need to fly. I can even take a rental car in like super highways where people from Dubai paying thousands of dollars to try our highways, especially in Germany. And then when I'm in the south of Germany, I can say I go to Austria or go to Zurich, go to the Zuricher Lake, and you will be blown away, or you go to Tessin or whatever, or you go to the French area. I mean, think about how amazing I have so much love for Europe. I mean, people misunderstand. I never left because of geographics and culture. I left because of people.
Yeah.
I left because I could not deal with this kind of German attitude of like, and you have to clean the house and you have to do this, and why you don't pay the insurance. I'm like, hey, man, don't come in with that bullshit from Germany about structure, because I was never so much into it. I wanted to have a very free and liberal life, and Germany was for me Berlin. Berlin is for me a different Germany. So, but if I go now to the south of Germany, no matter how much uplifting energy I will bring, there will be also a lot of people questioning my energy. They will say like, who are you? What the fuck is that? That's too liberal. That's too thing. The problems are very clear. It's immigrants. We need right wing. We need this. And I think I'm not ready for that. What you say, I'm not ready to deal with that thing. But I can imagine myself somewhere in Greece or Spain or Portugal too. Maybe even an island like Gran Canaria, or like, you know, like Fuerteventura. Like there's so much opportunities. There's so much area. There's so much Greek islands. And then I would be closer to my family, because this could be also an age thing, bro, that you feel like your family is getting older. Are your parents still alive?
Yeah, my mother's still alive. My father, but I have no connection to my father.
Is there a reason why you have no connection since a long time, or you
Yeah,
never
all my
had?
life. I never
You
had.
don't
I
know?
never had. Yeah,
You
I saw him like three times in my life, and he paid like till I was 18 years old, for my mother, and then I heard nothing anymore. And yeah, the big thing I also shared it here in one podcast is last year. I think it was last year or 2 years ago. I called him because I found the number, and I called him and I said, "Hey, you want to meet?" And then you see, please don't call again.
he said
So
that?
he said
He
that,
said,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but he's
He
afraid.
said that.
He's
Yeah,
just
for sure.
afraid.
And he has a family, because it was always like a Techtelmechtel, like with my
Yeah.
with my mom or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know exactly, but he has always a family, and I was not supposed to see this family or get a connection to this family. I also
So,
have like a half brother, half sister, and stuff. Yeah,
so because I can feel that
yeah,
this is like serious topic, man. I mean, first of all, I want to give you a big hug for
sure.
exposing this, to saying this, to share the story with us. Yeah, because I know how it is, man. I
Yeah,
mean, listen, I tell you the truth. I have parents, and I'm always asking for the love of my father since I'm a kid. I want him to say in my face, "I love you." He never did. Never.
yeah,
There's no moment when I
yeah,
can. So I feel you somehow like, hey, dad, I mean, come on, I'm your boy. Okay, I'm your boy. So, but the other thing I want to tell you is like, if I ever go with you around Germany and we're gonna find out where he lives, we're gonna knock on the door and say, we're gonna show him your beautiful face, and I'm gonna tell him like, listen, you don't need to talk with him, because you will regret to not talk with this guy because he's so special. You will regret that you didn't take your life to spend a little bit of time with Robin, because this could be also the fear, bro. The fear could be that he sees what he didn't get. Because what you might feel is like, you might feel like, damn, my own dad doesn't want to talk. But maybe he feels like, fuck, if this guy is the super power and the super energy and the super kid, what the fuck did I do? So I would not even blame him. I think he's just protecting himself for a lot of inner work. He's protecting himself from a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of inner work. And I think what we should send this guy right now is like a lot of love for his new life and your new family, because I think it made you also the strong motherfucker that you are. Because you needed to be on your own. It connected you
Yeah,
way
for
stronger with your
sure.
mom. It's special. Special. You
Yeah,
have a special story, bro.
yeah,
Sometimes people tell me like, oh, you have the perfect life. Your
yeah, for
parents are still
sure.
together and this. So nothing is
Yeah,
perfect, bro. Nothing is perfect.
yeah.
So
And
you
I
called
also
him,
did
man.
a lot of healing, Alexandra. I also did a lot of healing towards this, a lot of forgiveness. Also, like with plant medicine, especially with ayahuasca, I went through a lot of stuff in the last 2 years after that happens. And I was like feeling the anger and feeling the sadness, the grief and everything. But in the last ceremonies, I was really able to forgive him and to be grateful for him. Yeah, because he did this path. He chose this path. Maybe he chose it was chosen for him from spirit. I don't know, because I can have this life and I can explore the man's work and the deep masculine practices and the archetypes and everything to heal this part in myself, and also to encourage and empower other men through my coaching or through my relationships. So I'm
For
right
sure.
now, I think it's not like 100% healed. Yeah, but I think I can deal with it and I can be grateful for him. But for sure, there's like also like a small part, because he's really old. He's way older than my mother. So, and I always think, what happens when I see it? Because sometimes I look, like looking the Todesanzeigen, like the death. I don't know the English
Death
word.
announcement.
When you see
Yes.
it in the newspaper,
Death
the death
announcements.
announcements, yeah. And I thought, well, what will happen when I see, okay, he's died, and I was not able to see him again, and maybe to just see him and to just be in his energy. And this is like a small part. I want to heal this as well, and maybe yeah, take this step, or yeah, maybe now in Germany when I'm there. Yeah.
Nice. It's brave. It's definitely brave, bro. I wish you personally a lot of A lot of power for that. I'm not sure if I could do that. You need to be very developed. Hey, have a nice evening.
I'm also not sure. I'm also not sure.
Yeah, but hey, man, it's interesting because then you have a new story for your life to tell, you know.
Alexandros, the internet quality is a little bit bad in the last few minutes. I just want to tell you that. Sometimes I can't really hear you properly.
Wait, I will try this one.
You're also like talking for 90 minutes now, but we can also be grateful that we can talk. He's in Mexico and I'm in Thailand and we can just talk. It's crazy.
But now I have a new connection. I connected with a different internet.
Yeah, now it's better. I think it's better now. Yeah.
Good. We use this one.
Yeah.
It's cactus internet calls, like from the house that I'm renting.
Nice.
It's better?
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah, I can understand you. Yeah.
Man, the thing is the thing is with what you're going through is chosen from the universe for you, you know, like the universe wants you to experience that, and also for him too. I mean, that's something that I realized more and more through the inner work that I do also as a man. We have no idea how this man is suffering. You know, we can see now the thing about he abandoned me and he had my mother and then he just paid for me. But listen, there's another thing that you can focus. First of all, he paid for you, right? He took responsibility legally for until you were 18, right? Then also he picked up the phone and asked you like, hey, please don't call me anymore. So there's like something like, at least you know that is somewhere, somebody. I met people in Mexico, they get adopted as a kid when they were like 8 months old or 2 years old. No mother, no mother. Sorry, no mother, no father, nothing. And then I feel like, wow. And then what I see with them when they're 18, 19, 20, I meet them now in Saulita or Puerto Vallarta. They try also to see like, hey, this is my path. That is my story. Yeah. Because what I wanted to say before is like some people, they always think like my life looks so perfect with my family in Greece and they're together. Wait, I'm asking for the love of my parents since I'm a kid. Yeah. And just because they are together and they have a marriage and they're sorry to say, but I'm asking the same thing that you ask. Like, give me love, daddy. Yeah. Mommy, give me love. Because in the end of the day, no matter the question, we all ask for love. And we just find our way how to get this kind of love. But I can tell you, like, I think there's no bad person behind there and there's no bad intention. I mean, you came to this world, you have your story, you deal with it, you become a better man from that. Because what I believe deeply is like, I don't want to play anymore the victim. I used to be in Berlin in a certain time of my life, a kind of a victim. And then I said like, oh, the life is unfair. I don't want to use that anymore. I'm very ashamed to say that. But sometimes I use that thing like, oh, life is so unfair. But wait, as long as I can fucking breathe, as long as I can feel and smell, life is not unfair because life is there. So even if I would be now homeless and I have no MacBook and no microphone and I talk with you with my banana phone like, hey, Robin, thanks for that podcast. Can you maybe send me $20 that I can eat for the next 2 days? I would not play the victim. I would try to get out there to get the $20 to pay you back and get a job in the hotel, clean here in Mexico, say, hola chicos, I want a job, por favor. But what I realized definitely is there was a time in my life before the bike trip, I played a little bit the victim. And I'm very sensitive now with this. When I'm getting into the attitude of playing the victim, I feel like, nah, I want to stop straight to say that the life is unfair or something happened. In Tulum, my backpack got stolen. My business backpack, laptop, ledger, passport, money. I was really like, believe me, bro, I got really fucked. First day I reached Tulum. First night. I come from the airport, I take the taxi driver leaves with my fucking backpack. He knew exactly that my backpack is in there, so I say always, he stole my backpack. And then I called my mentor in the same night. And this was very interesting. I called first my mentor and he didn't pick up the phone. It was already late in New York. So I called my father because it was night. It was morning in Germany. And I called my father like this, bro. I called my dad. I'm like, hey, dad, you don't believe what happened. He's like, what? I was like, Daddy, I cannot even tell it to you, but it pisses me off so much. It's so hurtful. He's like, what? Tell me. I'm like, nah, the taxi driver, he stole my fucking backpack with the... And he cuts me. He's like, son, I was fucking afraid that you are in a hospital and dying.
Yeah.
This is just a fucking backpack and some thousands of dollars. And why are you carrying thousands of dollars in your fucking backpack? Why you didn't put it to the bank? I'm like, Dad, there was also a laptop inside and the crypto. And he's like, kid, you are fucking alive. That is what matters to me. The rest, I give a fuck.
Yeah.
And once he said that, I woke up. I was like, what the fuck? I'm calling my dad 7 o'clock in the morning, Germany. He's like having breakfast. What drama I'm doing here? And the next morning I call my mentor and like, hey, Joey. He's like, bro, chill the fuck out. It's like, what happened? Passport, you get new one. Money, you have still enough on the bank. Your cash is gone. MacBook, you're going to replace. It's just a little bit stress for you in your fancy traveler life. And I realized I'm playing a little bit the victim of life here. Like, oh, somebody stole my stuff. No, I was not careful enough with my stuff. I could have been more careful. And also, what happened? In the end, I have now a new MacBook. The truth is I have more cash with me when I was in this bag today. Like, it's just 5 months ago. But it's all like, I don't want to play a victim anymore. And I felt that when you talked about your story of your dad, that you're not playing at all the victim. You're very strong. You're very brave. You're like a warrior. Like also with the bandage that you have, you're embracing the situation. And I think this makes you also a great leader in your workshops. I think people can learn a lot from you. You have never in your podcast and never in your stories and never in your, even in the breakup, which I followed online, was very interesting for me. I have to be very honest to you as a friend right now. It was very helpful for me to see you doing this with Nadia, like publicly crying, looking at each other, embracing this time. Very helpful for me. I tell you, when we see in Germany each other, like why it was so helpful for me. Helped my clients too. I told my clients about it. I told yesterday about you and your partner, like to a yoga teacher here, like that you did this publicly. I showed the video. I showed them like, hey, because this was very vulnerable. Like showing people that, hey, we're getting, because look, everybody celebrates his fucking wedding and his fucking bachelor party, but nobody celebrates his divorce, right?
Yeah.
It's so funny to see all the people like, I get wedding, I get this. And then you're finding out after 5 years they're not together anymore. You feel like, why I didn't find out about this on your nice Instagram? People don't want to show the painful stuff. People don't want to show that hard work through separations takes both. And what you did there was very brave. And
it's also a contrast, to the whole social media program, because on social media we also tend to do, and also I do that. We tend to do like showing the good stuff, showing the beach, showing our food, showing we live a healthy life, we have a good communication with our partners, and this and this and this and that. Yeah, and Nadia and me, we are always, since we are going to traveling with the camper van to Portugal and Spain, we also share like the parts where we just say, we don't have no money. What we can do? We have no money. I can't buy gas for the tank, for the camper van. Yeah, and then, but we also show now we just getting to know a couple who invited us to make house sitting in their villa in Spain, and we're house sitting for 9 dogs and 3 horses, and we lived without money for 3 weeks. Yeah, we also showed this, but the people, they need to check without this, it can't happen this,
Yes.
So we need to go also like through our shadow valleys and face our shit and also talk about it, and maybe in this podcast, maybe not in the moment in social media, but we also did that. Yeah, we take the cam and we said, we are fucked right now. Yeah, and so many people, they send us messages and voice messages and everything. Oh, thank you, you helped me with this. Just because we were crying in front of the cam or raging and all that kind of stuff, And I think when you do this in social media, show also like the other side, if you can feel that. Yeah, show the other side, because it's important.
Yeah, I have to be very honest. Like, it's coming a little bit more and more. Like, you see a lot of deep talk podcast shows, YouTube
Mhm.
channels. I think there's also like a new generation growing up which likes all these kind of deep talk and all these things. Like, they're turning away from the consumption and hyper capitalistic, and they want to free themselves and be like more in their masculine, feminine power. I see this also like more and more, but this can also be because I'm developing myself to become more and more this person. So I'm attracting more these people and I'm finding these more people. My
Yeah.
brother told me like there was always times in life where you had different societies and different people. And it depends how you, I think you work like an antenna, like a radio station, like you receive and you send. So
Fever.
depending what you send out, you receive.
Yeah.
So I felt definitely very strong connected to that part. And then when you shared this with your dad right now, I was like, I'm sure you grow so much from all this process. And you said you were not healed. You're not healed by that. I'm not healed from I'm still not healed from my first divorce, which was like 2018, 19. So I feel sometimes there's so much pain still. And I want to take like something and break it and feel like, I'm angry. But then I take a deep breath and I feel like, wait, this is just triggering you. There's just something inside you. Like the little kid Alexandros who screams around because he didn't get at Colossa or Edeka or Rewe his chocolate and didn't get attention in school because he did a backflip and nobody saw it. The little kid didn't get his attention, is now grown, 37 years old in Oaxaca, and cannot deal with that emotion, cannot deal with this kind of situation. So I feel like we're all in a big healing process, bro, like so big. And I think as deeper you go into the healing, on the other side, this joy and the reward is so big because we talk about here about a lot about personal development and personal healing and personal growth. And this takes a lot of time, a lot of work, a lot of investment of time, energy, emotions. But on the other side is like so much joy, so much happiness, so much. My client from Germany, he said like, hey, you know what happened? Thanks to 8 months working with you, Alexandros. I'm like, tell me. He said, I'm waking up sometimes now in the morning and I smile and I don't know even why I smile. I said, yeah, this is the inner work. And you know that feeling, you and Nadia and all these people like working on themselves after a few years, you know that feeling, waking up and feel like, you look like an idiot. You look in the mirror, you brush your teeth, you feel like, why have this goofy smile? Why I do that? But it's because of everything, because there's so much inner happiness. And this is also why I say to everyone who works with me, I say like, listen, I'm just outside guiding you, but the entire path and the entire journey you do within yourself. It's not in the outside. It's not because you go to the gym that you have the muscles that you feel good. It's when you feel inside from within, because this is the highest, I think, this is the highest form for me for gratitude and for being thankful and being like healthy. When it's from intrinsically, when it's from inside. So
Yeah.
you do great work, man. You do great, man. I mean, I can see that also. Like, I follow you long time enough to know. I was very happy when you called me and said like, come on, let's do one in English. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, and when you are in Germany or in Europe, for sure, let's meet again. I think
I go next month. Are you going, you leaving Thailand? You going back for a
we
little bit
go
or?
next month, maybe to Switzerland. I'm not sure because I need to wait for a visa. It's a little bit like a process now. They have our passports, this kind of stuff.
What, for
And
Switzerland?
yeah, no, I need a visa here for Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have a visa now for 1 year, but I need to check some documents, go to.
Okay, nice.
But next month we want to go to Switzerland, and I'm in Switzerland in Zurich for a few days, and then I have a retreat in the beginning of July near Berlin, and yeah.
When is the retreat in July in Berlin?
What kind of?
No, what date?
What do you what?
The
It's
date.
the first July till the 11th.
Nice. I think you did this last year
Yeah.
too, no?
Yeah, I did it now for 3 years in a row. So we make two
Mhm.
retreats in the big castle near Berlin. It's just for entrepreneurs. And I'm helping my business partner over there to organize everything. And I'm also facilitating my breathwork, cacao ceremonies. Sometimes here in Thailand, we did the same. We also integrated the people to the work with plant medicine, like on a micro level. So it's really interesting to combine this
What
work and bring it
you
into entrepreneurship.
do you give them micro dose
Me?
mushrooms in Berlin too, or no?
I can't say that here on podcast. No, no, not yet. Because here in Copenhagen, we did like a nature walk, and we take some microdosing capsules for everyone, and like 90% of the entrepreneurs were into it, and they came to me afterwards and was like, "Oh wow, I have this connection with my feelings and with the nature and with my breathing, and they feel alive." And it was really nice to see also like to the interconnection between the participants. They were like
Mhm.
hugging each other and laughing. And so it's really important for us as well for me as well, for my business, for my mission to bring them more in touch with nature. And plant medicine is a good shortcut with that. Let's put it like this. So, but
Sure.
in
It's not
Berlin,
the
we work
solution, but
with
it's definitely a tool, you know.
HP,
And
with no, it's not a solution, but it's a tool. It's a gateway. And in Berlin, we work with indigenous medicines like HP, like Sananga, like eye drops, and that they feel like the connection with the nature and within themselves. So yeah, I'm free to do this work. Do you hear me?
I hear you, but I try something. Give me a second. Cactus main.
Yeah, no, it's good, I think.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is
Yeah.
funny because when I rented this apartment, I always check if the internet is good, but sometimes the internet is not that good. Let
Yeah.
me.
So in Thailand, they're pretty good. I have like 350 up and download. So, but also
Yeah,
sometimes
that's big. I
there's
have
a
maybe 20,
lack of
20 or
connection.
something like this. No,
But
it's
Mexico,
not your
yeah,
one.
where
It's
were
my.
you?
I'm now in Porto Escondido.
Where in New Mexico? Ah, Puerto
In
Escondido.
Porto Escondido.
Yeah.
But let me try
Yeah,
something. I think my
I
internet is
also
better.
yeah. I also want to thank you, Alexandros, because I think we connected like a few years ago, and I was in where was I? I think I was in Europe, and in Switzerland, and we talked, and you sent a lot of messages, and it was like a mini coaching through WhatsApp, and so grateful for this. And you said, "Yeah, you need to come to Mexico. You're this Mexico guy. I can feel you here." And after this, also with some other things which were happening, we go to Mexico. We make the move to Mexico in COVID times,
You
and
went to
it was
Tulum.
like to Tulum, 6 months in Tulum, but then also like a half year traveling to Brazil, Guatemala, and Colombia, Costa Rica. So it was one of the best times in my life, and I feel a strong connection to South America and Middle America. So and that's also why I want to move to Europe, because then I'm near, you know. So I'm more near than now in Thailand. Thailand is all so far away from Mexico and from Brazil, and I feel really deep inside myself that there's a lot of experience waiting for me in Brazil, also with the indigenous tribes, and in Mexico. I want to go back to Guatemala as well. So yeah, my heart is, I think, in South America, in Europe and
Nice.
South America.
So you have been now many months in many times also in Thailand, huh?
Yeah, like for 4 years, I'm coming more or less regularly to Thailand. Um, Yeah, but it's a different thing, you know. Also, I really like to integrate into the local communities. And in Thailand, it's not so easy when you're not like speaking good Thai. So to connect with the people, maybe it's just a mindset. Yeah, but it's also like the experience I made in the last 4 years. And I felt like completely different in Portugal and all the Spanish speaking countries. I'm like more open-hearted and they're like interested. What do you do? And they're not like projecting something on you. And here in Thailand, yeah, it's a little bit like different, especially in the last times because so many people are just like flooding this island. And yeah, I can feel the difference.
Yeah, this is also something I have worked now the last months with German clients, and then something happened with me. I speak German. And then I feel like, oh my God, I'm so much more energetic in German because I
Yeah.
think deep down, I love that language. German is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, German is a beautiful language. I really admire the German language. And then I also realized like, oh, I speak Greek too. I speak Spanish too. I speak English too. I feel like these are different characters. Like everyone is like different. So when I'm traveling here and I can express myself with the Spanish speaking people, and then I go to the States and then I fly to Europe and then I'm in Greece, I feel like, damn, I think something happened with me. I want to learn more languages. I would love to speak Mandarin or Thai or
Wow.
Russian. And yeah, the thing is
Mm.
like, I have no, I don't want to say I don't have time, but it also takes a
Yeah.
lot of effort and investing like precious time to do that. But I can see
Prioritize.
myself like doing a little bit like traveling around the world to see a little bit how the world looks right now because I'm very focused on States and Europe and South America. I think I want to go more in your direction to see what's going on there. I want also to go to Japan, want to see what's going on there. I want to go definitely to China and Russia. I want to see what's going on there. But I have a very strong desire, man, the last 2, 3 months to really prepare myself for a longer trip around the world. Just figuring
Mm.
right now out. Yeah, I want to really do spots. I want to see how the world looks right now.
Mm.
And I want to be more like an observant. I want more to observe how the world looks. I don't want to go out and post stuff about how the world looks. I want to see for myself how is the world developing right now. So, and I will
Yeah.
start with Europe next month. So I see you definitely in Europe. I go next month to
Nice.
Europe. I start in Greece. I getting a new passport because I lost the one now. I getting a new one. And man, I'm very excited to enter Europe. I want to be the best version of myself, to spread a lot of positive energy, to go in the morning to a bakery saying like, "Hey, thank you very much for doing this bread 5 o'clock in the morning to open now the place." And they might look at me like, "What the fuck is this guy?" But I really want to spread a lot of good energy when I go now to Europe. Like it's a
You know,
big mission of me. Like,
nice. I need to tell you the story right now.
um,
Because I always like, let's not say like escaping from Europe, but just to exploring like Thailand and Mexico, South America, and all this kind of stuff. And during COVID times, I was traveling in South America, and I was like, yeah, I don't really need to go back to Europe. So here I have everything I need, and blah blah blah. And then I was sitting with a Yabanaba tribe in Brazil, like having a big retreat with two big ceremonies. It was like the birthday of the chief from the Yabanaba people, so like a big party, a lot of food, a lot of dancing and chanting, and also like really tough ceremonies with ayahuasca. And a few months before that, I was in Guatemala, and I got a Maya reading from Walter. This is his name, a Maya indigenous guy from the Lake Atitlan. So please, when you're there, go to see
nice,
Walter. He makes yeah, really, really nice Maya readings. And now hear what he said. He said, yeah, you go to the indigenous tribes and you go here and there and you learn but what you really need to do is you need to sing and you need to go back and to Europe and light the fire over there. Because you are a man, you can connect with the fire. You have a strong connection with the fire. You can talk to the fire. I can see it, and you need to sing and to drum and to make music. So then I go to the Yabanaba people and I just see like they like 3-year-old little boys with a huge guitar and singing and playing. And I was so inspired with that. And I integrated it more and more into my work, into our work. And now I'm on this stage also with Nadia. We use a lot our voices, yeah, with talking, but also with singing, with mantras, with chanting, with indigenous prayers, with the drumming and everything. So I already do that. And now I was like in the last ayahuasca ceremony, I was the fire keeper. So it's really, really a big job, in a ceremony to not just consume the medicine, but to be there for the people and to keep the fire the whole night burning. So it was like really interesting experience for me, And then I just always think from these indigenous tribes, like the Maya reading, okay, I already do this. And now I'm on the stage to go back to Europe and to share even more. And like 3 years ago, where I've been in the jungle with the Yabanabas, I got this strong urge after that to go back to Europe. And this is where I started the retreats with the entrepreneurs. And I was like really in my beginning. And I thought, well, what can I do with them? I just like breathing. And I took my drum. And this is where I started like this singing work, like this drumming and this chanting. And the people, they're like amazed by it, And now my next mission is I want to bring it back into my hometown. And I want to do it like for donation or like free of charge. And I want all the people I know from the past and all from my drug times and party times. And I want to come them, come drink cacao, listen to the drum, breathe. And I think it's a really, really important work for me now to not just be out there and to make my own experience and heal myself from my past traumas and blah, blah, blah. I did that, and I'm constantly doing it. But now it's the time for us to bring the work back, and just bring to the people what we have learned and what we have experienced. So we have a lot of gifts and we need to share it right now. So this is what I'm
you're ready for you're ready for your hometown? Because I think this is the ultimate.
Yeah.
The one. That's the highest level. If you go to your hometown.
Yeah. I know. But I have a really strong connection with Sangerhausen. Yeah, it's the biggest rose sag mal, Rosensammlung. You have the most kind of roses in Europe in this town. So it's like a big attraction for old people most of the time, So, but Sangerhausen has a lot of things, and I feel the energy in the last 3 years. And my best friend, he always welcomed me at his house. So, yeah, greetings goes out to Patrick. So I can always come to him. I have my room there. I can work there. I have a good time with him. We make garden parties and have alcohol-free beer and all this kind of stuff, So I build up the relationship to my hometown and to find peace also with the people there. And so many people, I think I am sure that you experience the same. So many people from your old town, in your past friends, and you're going to party and they come now and they say, hey, I see you. And you're inspiring. And what do you do? How do you do that? And how is your business? How is it functioning? Yeah. And now it's the time to share it.
I agree. Is it this summer you want to do it in your hometown?
Yeah, for sure. I want to do it. I want to do it the last year as well, but I was like so busy with retreats and with family. So sometimes, I need to put more effort and more priority on this. But for sure, I will do it. Yeah.
I'm gonna come there. I want to see that.
Yeah.
I think it's good. Yeah. I will contribute with my energy there. I think this is a big thing to support a brother in some hometown thing, because when I go to my hometown, the last time I was there with my client said like, okay, let's go to your hometown. I want to see your hometown. I want to know who you are. And then I told 2 friends that I'm coming, and then 2 more friends knew about it, and everybody wanted to see me. I was like, I'm so nervous. Why I'm nervous? Because I have my own story, my own healing process with my hometown. Yeah. I was always the kind of the big nose guy, always different. always like going wild and traveling and divorced and this and living in Mexico. And a lot of attention on me. And then I realized when they were sitting in front of me, I was like, you can just be your fucking self here and you don't need to care about what people think about you. That's your hometown. That's your protection. That's like, you own that place, man. It's like your hometown, man. And then I was so relaxed with my client. I was like, I'm sitting here with a client from New York in the age of 36. And I'm this little boy from that hometown. Gave me a lot of comfort that it doesn't matter who I am right now and who I was. It's like just being in my hometown gave me a very strong sensation of that's one of my biggest roots. This town is one of my roots, and I need to embrace and also acknowledge and respect that root. And what I'm trying right now is like to put the root into very healthy soil. I think I fucked up a few times in my hometown. Definitely. I think there's a few
Me too.
There's a few people that I own like some respect, like an apology. And I'm heading this time to Europe with a very different idea. It's not about me going there like big Alexandros is coming. It's more like very humble and very carefully going to the people that I love and saying like, hey, thanks for being in my life. I'm going through a very wild life the last 14 years since 2011. I'm having a very vibrant and healthy and fearless life. I would say like I'm very like special personality, people say, but I'm not special. I'm just living a special lifestyle. And because what does it mean to be special? I think we are all very special people. Everybody's very unique. Everybody has his epic story. But definitely I go with a lot of respect this time to Europe. I tell you, and I wish you also the same when you go now to Europe, like there is something waiting for us. There is some calling from there, like come all out from everywhere in the world and come back to Europe. Europe needs you. I think also being European, I feel so proud to be a European citizen. I mean, there's so much coming with Europe. Like my idea about Europe was always as a kid, like formed by like different cultures, living with Italians, Albanians, and Turkish, and Polish, and Germans, and East Germany, and Berlin, and this, and we are so diverse. And then it's funny because when I go now to America for work, a lot of people say like, why do you live in Mexico? You live in Europe. That's the best place on earth. I have been in Europe and you can go from Amsterdam to Berlin and Paris and the food is amazing. And the Americans talk so highly about Europe. And I feel like, okay, why do I live in Mexico? Why? Because we have good beaches. We have good beaches in Europe. We have islands. We have 4 seasons. We have like diversity and culture in nature. We have a very stable, secure system in the world. Like, I mean, it's very impressive what we have built in Europe. We have a good geographical system of traveling. And sometimes I feel like, I tell you this, and also it's the first time I tell publicly, I think my time as a traveler changed a lot. It's not anymore to go to places to explore the places. I think I go more and more now to see how I interact, how I live in new surroundings, how I behave if I would go now to Japan. It's not about discovering Japan. I want to see like, how can I adapt to a new society? If I come to Thailand, I want to live a way more Thailand lifestyle, you know, like I want to feel like more local. I want to eat like them. I want to behave like them. I want to see how adaptive I am, how much I can adapt. Because I did this the last years in Mexico. I became very Mexican. Like I became very respectful to their culture, very respectful to their food, very respectful to their language, very respectful to their events, like whatever they celebrate here. I try to get into it. And I feel like a traveler, it's not anymore for me important to go left and right and make the checklist that I have been there and I've been there and I've saw this. It's more about like, how much can I adapt to the life there? And I can feel this right now with my friends in Bali, like Balinese friends telling me like, hey man, Bali is getting very weird right now. Like a lot of people coming there and using a little bit like Bali as a hotspot and going wild. And I feel like, no, I want to be different. I want to really respect where I go now. If I go to France, I want to say bonjour. Like, hey, I want to feel feel the space and the energy. And this time going from Mexico out for a longer time to travel, I really want to tell people like it's also a very big privilege to be able to travel with your passport and going there and there. It's like
Yeah, for
crazy
sure.
privilege to go traveling.
Mm. Mm.
But also it's
Mm.
very important always to respect where you go. Like, and when you go to
Mm.
Barcelona or like Madrid, these are big cities, but there's locals living there their entire life, and we should really respect their presence and culture and everything. Like, I felt this the last time when I was in Europe. I think Europe is so beautiful, man. Europe is so special. Everywhere is
Yeah.
special.
How, yeah. I also love it, you know, in Germany, the forests, and Switzerland with the mountains and the lakes. It's amazing. I love it. I love it as well. And I also
But
like the air. Yeah.
but you have good air
Yeah.
in Kupangana.
Well, nah, not. No,
Really?
it's like the pollution. Yeah, pollution gets very, very high because a lot of constructions, a lot of cars. I think the cars are like doubled in the last 4 years. So on the street you have like, yeah, so many cars, and they
What do you mean
building
with what do
parking
you mean
lots
with
in front of the
constructions?
gyms and stuff.
They buying all the land and buying the condos and the houses?
Yeah, this is what happened. What happens right now? So every time you see like a new construction site, and they are not like building really consciously. Yeah, they're just like cutting all the trees and just making it like to the ground, you know. And then they building some white cement bungalows. Like every one looks the same like the other one. And this is a little bit the vibe right now because I was living in Coconut Lane. So this is a area in Shritanu. And it was so nice. I was there with my dog in the morning. We walked, and you have a lot of palm trees and other trees in nature. And now, 1 year later, it's all gone. It's all gone. So no
But
palm trees anymore. A lot of resorts, a lot of gated communities, and now we call it like not Coconut Lane. We call it Coconut City.
and what do you
Yeah.
think is the
So this is
what do you think is the demographics? A lot of Europeans or like more Australians or
Um, most the most are Israeli and Russian and German. Yeah, so this is like the main thing. It depends a little bit on where you go. When you go more to the south, there are a lot of like people from England, but like in the spiritual communities, you have a lot of Israeli and Russian people. Yeah, and this is the vibe a little bit also right now. I don't want to be like
no,
talking
but
about any
how you feel the locals taking this? But because the locals also benefiting from this, right?
the locals benefiting from this, but I think in Thailand it's a little bit, they could be a little bit more like, I don't know how to put it, because they are just leaving the space for all the people who have money and who want to build and who want to buy land, and they sell their own land. They sell land on the beach, and I think it would be nice if the Thai say, okay, we build something here. And Alexandros, it's really, really hard to have good local Thai food here on the island. But what you get is you get good pizza, you get good falafel and hummus and all this kind of stuff. You know, I can have everything here from Europe. It's no problem. Also in a good quality. But when I want to have real, like healthy Thai local food, yeah, it's hard to find. It's hard to find, and this is not good. When you go
When
to the
was your
north in Chiang Mai, it's a different thing. It's more local. The people are also more friendly, and it's more kind of the real Thailand. Yeah.
how many years you already like in Thailand? When was your first time in Thailand?
5 years ago, 5 years ago, I was there for the first time. I think in 2019. Then I was during COVID times. I was here on the island, which was amazing.
It was
Completely
empty,
another
huh?
story. Yeah, so no people, empty restaurants, empty beaches. And when you see it like this, and then you see it like how it is now, it's a little bit sad. Yeah, it's a little bit sad.
So
Yeah.
did you ever think about like leaving like Asia and going like more time of the year to Europe and then just coming for some holidays to Thailand? Or is it still
Yeah,
like
yeah.
your desire to be most of the year out of of Europe?
Not anymore. Not anymore. I have a men's group. Since 3 years, we are like meeting every Thursday. And it's more or less the same constellation of the group. So it's a really strong bond. We also see each other in Europe, also in Berlin last year and this year as well. So, and sometimes we are just talking. We're just sharing. Yeah? It's not like a big structure. We're just sharing what's happening. And I shared this as well, that I have this inner conflict. Maybe I want to go back to Europe. And then I talked with the guy afterwards, like 1.5 hours. And he said the same. He's living now in Nicaragua, and he went now to Costa Rica. And it's the same thing. It's a guy from Switzerland, also doing the breath work and nervous system regulation, similar work. So greetings to Glenn Meyer, really amazing human being. And we talked like for 1.5 hours with Nadia. He said, yeah, maybe we want to explore a little bit to how it is to live more in Europe and less on the other side of the ocean. And then this process in me was like going on, and also in Nadia a little bit more in the last time, because she wants to move back to Europe, near to Switzerland and to her friends and to her family. And for me, it was always like, no, I'm happy in Kopangan. I have everything I need. I can go to the gym. I can go to the ice bath every day, to the beach. So I have my dog here, blah, blah, blah. But now, like, the process is also like hitting me. Yeah, the women, they are always like first, sometimes you say it, and now it's hitting me. And we talked about to go to Portugal, maybe. We have a lot of friends over there. And yeah, being a little bit more near the family. My mother is also like getting older, and I want to spend more time with her, like just once a year. And also with my best friend in Germany. Yeah, we have such a strong connection, but we just see each other once a year. And this is too less for me. And I think for him too. Yeah. So that's why, to answer your question, I can imagine to be a longer time now in Europe and just go to these places for holidays or for like traveling purposes.
Yeah, I'm in the same stage. It's funny that we talk about this today. I'm planning my...
Yeah, it's not just you. So many people, so many digital nomads, I talk to them.
It has also to do a little bit with the age. But because if you're now 22 and you come to Kopangan, you feel like, wow, Kopangan, wow. If you come now like to Mexico, Tulum, this is becoming a new trend, huh? Like this. Everyone is doing now ecstatic dance.
You can go like every day. You can go
here,
every day.
In Kopangan, you can go every day?
Every day. Every day is another location and another ecstatic dance, and tantric ecstatic dance and shamanic ecstatic dance and all kind of ecstatic dance. Too much.
Okay, nice. So then if quality people like you going back to Europe, it will be like a lot of work for you there. There's a lot of work waiting for us.
Yeah. But I think this is the stage we are going through. We healed ourselves on these islands and in Tulum in Mexico, and we worked with breath work and plant medicine and all, and community as well, really diverse communities. And now, we need to do the work in Europe. And I know it's not gonna be an easy thing, but I think we have the stamina for it and the endurance now. And
the good things are not that easy.
No, but
they're not.
But it's connected to our values, and it's like you put it in the first you said today, or I can't even speak English anymore, and to be value driven. And I think one value for me is also like to enhance like the consciousness of human beings, and I can do it here in Kopangan, but they're on the way, they're on the path already, or maybe also advanced a little bit here and there. And I don't want to say that the Europeans are not like not advanced or something like that, but I think and I feel there's a lot of Yeah, they need it more because there's a lot of things going on. Like you said, prices getting higher, the politics, right wing, blah, blah, blah. So, and they need to have these tools for their body, for their mind, for their spirit to ground themselves and to be more resilient as well, because there is a lot of challenges that are coming now. And if you have the power and to hold space also for your family, for your community, for your clients. So yeah, this is a good skill to work on.
I agree 100% with that, because when you take your backpack and you're traveling to Bali or to Thailand, you already have a elevated mindset. You say like, I'm leaving, I save my money, I go out of the system for a little bit, living 6 months in Thailand. I mean, you get, how much is your visum like for tourists? 3 months? You can stay 3 months in Koh Phangan?
Visa, it's hard. It's hard. Yeah. You can do a tourist visa back in or in the embassy, German embassy, and then you can come, and then you get 2 months, and then you can extend for another 1 month on immigration, and then you need to do a border run. Yeah, so this is
So
kind
they
of
are
a
running
thing.
every 8 weeks. They're going.
Yeah, and now listen, when you don't have the tourist visa, you're just like on a normal tourist visa, like we were. You need to go every month. Every month, after 30 days, you need to go to immigration, and then after 30 days, you need to do border run. 30 days immigration, 30 days border run. So this was like our. You can imagine how the insecurities kick in when it's like that. So okay, now I've been at the immigration or at the border run. Okay, in 30 minutes and 30 days, I need to go again. So that's why we did now a visa for education purposes, and yeah, now we have 1 year and 3 months, and
But you see,
this
that's
gets us a
interesting.
little
So
bit like
more space to breathe. Like, yeah, I did the same. I have a residency here. I'm like legally allowed here. Like I have a residency permanent, like permit, like a permanent permit. So I can go in and
residency.
out. It's amazing. But
Yeah.
there's another thing that what I want to hit. So these people going from Berlin or Paris, traveling, they're a little bit more open-minded. But I think for guys like you, me, Nadia, more like we're also not just coaches, we're also like strong personalities. We can hold space. You use that. That's so true. Holding space, leading, being the example that we want to see in the world. I want to start to reach people who have never been out of Berlin, who have never been from Berlin to Munich, who have never been in Zurich, who have never been to Poland, who have never been like 6 weeks backpacking. I want to reach people like my mom who have never been like traveling the world. I want to start to reach people like who cannot afford to go to a retreat, which I maybe come to their house for one midday, talking, traveling through Germany, Greece, going to villages, to schools, having presentations to kids who might never go to Bali because they don't even fucking know what is Bali. And I feel like I want to bring my energy to the places. And this is so different from people leaving from Paris or Berlin or New York going to Costa Rica. They are already like ahead of the game. Like, oh, let's go there, do some breath work, do some like cacao ceremony or sweating and surfing and free lifestyle. I want to go to people who have maybe been in Berlin for 15, 16, 18 years, being like in a social surrounding, which is not that easy, and maybe twisting something in there for like 15, 20 minutes and saying like, hey, well, listen, I give you something that will help you in your daily life with your, how you say, like alleinerziehend, like when you are like a mother without husband or something like this. And this is a new way of serving for me, like to go to people who cannot escape like we did. Because what we did, bro, is like we leaving to Koh Phangan and I make border runs. There's people like living in Munich or Stuttgart or Zurich or whatever. They have not been in holidays for 2, 3, 4 years because they struggle with their life, with addictions or like depressions or stuff like this. And I feel like somehow I'm ready for like serving those kind of people with all my love. I feel that very strongly.
Yeah, I love that what you just said. Yeah, it's really important to bring and to what I want to say as well is like to build like a parallel world I think I can feel this. This is really important. I just dropped it in a podcast I did like 2 days ago. And because I think that they don't, the people, the politics, they don't want to stop with their games, like playing war, playing that, and playing all this kind of stuff, they won't stop in the near future. Yeah, let's be honest. And so it's really important, like, to build something as an alternative. Yeah. And so to build like this parallel world where healing is normal, where when you have a headache or when you have a flu, you don't take the jab or a shot or a pill, but you focus on your breathing, focus on your nutrition, going to your community and let them help you. Yeah, and I think we need to build this kind of alternative for the people so that they can choose, because it's really easy to explain that. So when you want to get off of sweets, of candy, yeah. So, but you go into the 7-Eleven or into the supermarket, yeah, and you just have candy everywhere, yeah. Of course, you stay with your addiction. But what happens if there is another 7-Eleven, the 7-Eleven Green, for example, and there you just find like fresh whole food, like fresh fruits, like nuts and everything, which really serves your health. And it's like maybe the same price. Yeah, it's the same price. So it's a really good alternative. What the people will choose, I'm really curious about that. Yeah, because when you have the alternative, which said, okay, it's the same price, it's the taste is better, and you do something for your health, I will choose that. And people who don't choose that, I will to encourage them, and I want to teach them how to make the right decisions. And this is what I mean with this parallel world. We don't need to play war. Yeah, play war if you like. Where when we don't go, you can't use us. No, so
True. If
and
nobody goes.
yeah, that's the saying. Yeah, that's this proverb, and this is really important for us and for this kind of conscious community worldwide, to not just do like this kind of thing. I have my coaching and I have my breathwork circle here for the privileged who can afford it, and no, we have like a real alternative, so for people that they can choose, and I think this is also because AfD, what means alternative for Germany, like the party, they are getting so much people right now who want to elect them, because they say we have a new alternative for Germany. But maybe this alternative is not good, and maybe after they will be elected, they are like the same like all the other parties are,
True.
I know that, because like the whole concept of election of parties is not like good anymore. So but people, they want the alternative. This is what we can see in this kind of topic right now.
So you can also feel like our coaches and mentors and guys like us, they have the desire to build this parallel world. Yeah.
I think if they have like the fundamentals, for call, of course, we need to have like financial stability, health stability, and everything. I think when we feel safe, for sure, I want to spread this word like way more wider and broader, So because I know, I want to help all people, and now the marketing guy comes, hey, you can't help all people, you need to position yourself and you need blah blah blah. Yeah, but like the true desire in myself is, okay, I want that people like your mother, do like breath work and go like traveling, and also I want it for my mother, yeah, to not like trusting doctors anymore, like more than her own body, or her son maybe, or also like a guy who has a real alternative for health, which is good. So I want to make this click moment, but this, I think we can just we can't reach that through going on stages and make blah, 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 blah. And this is biohacking and this is this and this is how you can do business. I think
You're
we
right.
need to
More
have
action.
spirit work for it. We have to have the connections to spirit. Yeah, action as well. But first of all, we need to have the connection to spirit. The connection with is way more out from the ego. You know what I mean? It's not like about you all the time. Yeah.
No, it's about us. Huh?
It's about us. It's about the planet, Mother Nature. Like the native people, they say, okay, this is a living being. The nature, she's breathing, and she's providing us with food and water and all this kind of stuff. But the people,
You're
it's
right.
easy. It's there.
You're right, because yesterday I went to Chetraui, and then there's this big Chetraui, for all the people listening, is a supermarket in Mexico. It's a chain like Walmart. And then I went to the vegetables area. Hey bro, I was standing in front of the vegetables. This was late, so that was going to close. So I had the view about like this, like watching all the stuff in front of me, like, and they already put the new things for the next day. And brother, I stood like a stone for 1 minute in front of this, all the chapters: bananas, cucumbers, onions, garlic, papayas, mango, like everything. And I was just like, damn, how many people had to work on the fields to produce all that? How many people needed to build all the infrastructure that all this comes now to Chitauri, Porto Escondido? How many people needed to build this like store and everything to put this there? How many of these guys were putting this all together before I came in here? How all the infrastructure was built that I can go in there and say like, one banana, one mango, and tomatoes and cherry tomatoes and champignons and this, and just walking out with my bags and paying with my Revolut card or like DKB or like Chase, Chippy Morgan, whatever fucking bank you use. Just like click, click, and then on my iPhone, I'm done with my shopping. Let's meet later when I had my dinner. And then recently, since maybe like a few months, I'm starting to cook my food, and I start to visualize how all these people in the fields working for my food. And I feel like, bro, really, Robert, like really honestly, I feel like, what the fuck do I do for having this? What do I do? I don't work on the field. I don't go every day out to work on 5 o'clock in the morning or do cheese or like do these things. I don't go to fish for my fucking like scampies, mumpies, like shrimps. There's so much things realizing like it's not about me anymore. It's like, look what I get provided by the universe. So I think there's also a strong desire why I want to go back to my roots, to have a kind of like finding out like, why did I grow up in the south of Germany? Why did I escape from there? Why I went to this kind of school? Why I have this with my parents? And how is my brother really doing? How is my family doing? How are my close friends doing today? I have 2 good friends in my life. I think they're like alcoholics. They have really like a drinking issue. So I feel like I want to really help them. I really want to talk with them like deep in their eyes, like saying like, hey bro, I fucking know you since you were a kid. Why the fuck do you have a drinking problem? And I think they will open to me because they know me since my entire life. They know that I come in love. And there's a lot of, I think the word is serving. I want to serve way more, man. Like when you reach this kind of stage that we have also as coaches and as mentors and as guidance, and people ask us for advice, it's not only that we have a living from that. We don't just earn our money with that. We have a way higher responsibility when just making our living with this. I think every coach listening right now, you have a responsibility to serve, to make that world a better place, to make that person a better person, so he can make the world a better place. Because what I feel also is happening right now in Europe is there's a lot of insecurities. There's massive amounts of like, we don't know where this is going here. And I don't want to be one of that dude sitting in Mexico in 5 years and something happens in Europe and it's getting ugly. And I feel like, I should have maybe go over there and help, you know? So I can feel
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
there's a big desire of like going over to Europe and being just a good person and helping others to get into their power, to
But
get into their balance.
I'm really curious, Alexandros. When you describe like you standing in front of the vegetables and you're like just like wowing and have this beginner's mindset of a child and are so grateful for all that happens. I do this every time I eat something, you know, I make a little prayer.
Sure.
I give something to nature from my food and just praying like, how is this even possible? But for this consciousness, yeah, so many people, they don't have it. They have it, but maybe they can't access it like you can. Yeah. And now I'm really curious when you talk to this like friend of yours who has an alcohol addiction, and you're just talking like really honest, yeah, really like real talk. Is it possible for him to have this kind of access to this consciousness to make him see the world like this? Because I'm asking because I know you went through a lot discomfort. Also, like with your divorce and with the businesses and with the also with the bicycle, you know, like with all the bicycle journeys, you know, and you put yourself away from food, from all this kind of stuff, which is normal for the most people. And so you embrace this discomfort. And when you get out of it, you feel like, oh, wow, it's what I have: vegetables, water, shower. I know this feeling because I lived in a camper van. And when I moved from the camper van to a flat in Switzerland, I was like the first week, wow, I can shower. Wow, I can just flush my toilet, my toilet, you know? But yeah, I'm curious, you know, you think the people, they need some kind of experience like this, or you can just do it with the words and with the real talk and stuff.
Look, I'm very curious myself because especially when somebody drinks alcohol, I think it's the same for me when I used to smoke weed or cigarettes. I think you're running away from something. Like there's something that you don't want to look at. Let's say this is like a Taschenlampe, like a torch. I think like instead of taking the torch and saying like, what is there? Put the light on me. Wait. Put the light here. What is in there? Let's check it. Oh, it hurts. I think people just say like, forget about the fucking torch. Let's smoke a joint. Life is good. I have a job. I have my house. My relationship is somehow okay. Fuck it. I don't need to put the torch on my stuff. I don't need to watch deep. What is my fucking issue? Why I'm taking this joint in my mouth or sniffing the coke or taking the ecstasy? Because it's a very different thing if I go to Burning Man in summer and I'm prepared, I'm cleaned, I'm detoxed, and I take like ecstasy on Saturday night and I want to celebrate my life. And then for 1 year, you don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I was the guy in Berlin, like taking every weekend MDMA and every weekend ecstasy. And I know exactly today, I know exactly, bro, today that I didn't take the light and say like, wait, why I want to take that MDMA or sniffing like a amphetamine or taking ecstasy again. And already I took 3 pills this night. There was no torch. There was no like open checking. It was more like, fuck it. But then Monday at work, oh my God, my body, oh my God, my head hurts. I took too much speed. The MDMA was too much. My body went down and my eyes went like this. My nose hurt from the coke that I sniffed on the after party. The consequences got very painful. So, but now when I see like alcoholics, it's first of all socially accepted. Like everybody drinks.
Yeah.
You can drink. It's
and everybody smokes now in Germany.
Everybody smokes. True. But then I know also something that when I ask my best friend, like, hey, why you do that? I think you trigger something which is way more important when saying like, hey, you drink too much alcohol, because this is not my right to tell him. Maybe it's not for him too much. Maybe he's fine. But I think I will trigger something that is way more important, which is like, do you know why you do that? Do you know why you consume that? It happened to me in November. Somebody told me in Sayulita in Mexico that I drink too much coffee and that I get hyperactive from the coffee and I should reduce the coffee. It's the wife of my mentor. It's a beautiful family. It's a beautiful couple. Shout out to this beautiful man. His name is Colin, and his wife and his daughter. He's a very wise and very powerful personality. And his wife met me and said like, hey, I advise you as a friend now. My husband knows you and he hangs out with you and I see you like a little bit hyper and your nervous system is like completely overloaded. I would suggest you politely, gently, reduce the coffee, drink less, or even stop it. So I looked at his wife. She's beautiful. She's very charismatic. She's very powerful. I see him. He's very healthy, top shape. I was like, you know what? Why not listening to that woman, asking myself first, like, why do I drink so much coffee? So I went home. I prepared the last coffee. I zipped the coffee. And I was like, why do I drink so much of it? I cannot even give an answer. I just drink it all the time. Like it pumps me up. Like, and then the next morning I went and I did a tea, peppermint tea, and then chamomile tea. And then I stopped everything and I switched to water. This was in November. Brother, since I stopped the coffee, my life is way better, man. My health is 100% better. I can assure everyone written down that I don't need coffee anymore. I got this kind of inner feeling of like, if we go in Berlin to a nice coffee place and you give me a sip of your cappuccino with oat milk or something like this, because I don't like cow milk and all this stuff. Or maybe there's almond milk or whatever, or just a pure espresso. I will just take a sip and I will enjoy it because of the energy. Just share the coffee with you. But what I did is, or what she did is, she was a great mentor. She came to me and she asked me, why do you have so much coffee consumption? And this is the same what I'm going to do with my best friend. I would say like, why do you drink 7, 8 beers after work, which is 0.5 each bottle? This is fucking 3 liters. We're talking about 3 liters of beer on a Friday. And he says, this is after work. Brother, if you drink more beer than water after work on a Friday, there is something that you run away. And I can definitely tell you that maybe I will not solve the problem and maybe I will not do the big change and the big mentoring. But there will be the moment that I had with the woman in Saulita that I'm asking myself the next time I put the beer in my glass, that I say, maybe I should stop to drink 6 and I go to maybe 1 or 2. And I think what we can all do as people, instead of judging others, we should inspire other people to think about, why do you do that, what you do? Just asking. And that's also what I learned from my own mentors. Instead of judging and saying like, this is, and you need this morning routine and you need to do yoga and you need to do gym and you need to do this. And then you have to do ayahuasca and once in your life, you have to go to Burning Man. Wait, people don't have to do shit. I'm not God and I can tell people what they have to do. I can inspire people by asking, do you know why you do that? Do you know why you take MDMA on the weekend every time in Berlin like I did? Because I could not answer that question. If somebody asked me in Berghain, Watergate, Bar 25 and Panorama Bar, why I'm sniffing myself like with amphetamine and taking more ecstasy, I would just say like, everybody does, it's so cool. But I would go home and I would feel like, why do I do that every weekend? Oh, I don't know the answer. Let's smoke a joint. Oh, I don't know the answer. Let's watch Netflix. Oh, I don't know the answer. Let's jerk off on YouPorn because I have like no focus in here to ask myself really one important question, which is coming down all the time in your life to the same. Why do you do what you do? Like when I was preparing for that podcast, I had my entire week planned out for that podcast. I was like, I want to be fresh mentally, ready to talk with you because I didn't see you for half a year. And I was, even when I booked this appointment, like last month, I said, like, let's do it when I'm in Porto Escondido because I'm renting this beautiful house. So I have more comfort to be with you. So from the moment you asked me, I answered my question constantly, why I want to talk with you. Actually, why I want even to talk with you. Because you are like an amazing, inspirational human being. And I want to share that time of my life with you, finding out where are you standing in the life right now. And so we can talk and we can use that video to inspire other people to watch this video now for almost 3 hours, to ask themselves like, hey, what kind of lifestyle those guys do that they have this fresh color, that they look fresh, that they talk nicely, that they have clear communication, that they have a strong energy, that they want to go back to Europe to serve. Because we're not talking about like cocaine and bitches and Rolex and making millions of dollars. It's like, it's not us, you know. We're attracting a certain kind of tribe and certain type of people who want to have a better life, who want to get out of their comfort zone and living the life they truly want to live and being the person they really want to be. And I think we manage this very nicely. Even we have a lot of shit going on and a lot of inner healing, like.
Oh, yes.
A lot of inner healing. So, but my way to approach people and also my clients and my work is very different from like 2-3 years ago, where I think like I know the answer. I don't know shit, bro. I have to say that to everyone in here. I have no fucking idea how this works here and why I came out of the pussy of my mother. I have no fucking idea why I came out there. I have no idea, but I'm starting to find out more and more that it's about asking people how they feel, how I can help them, how I can inspire them. Because some people, maybe my best friend will say like, hey bro, you know how you help me right now? Just get drunk with me and have a nice time and I will figure this out another time, because right now in my life, I need this kind of escaping and drinking because I need it right now, because I needed it too. When I was in Berlin and somebody told me like, you should do less coke or like less amphetamine, I had my reasons why I didn't stop. And then at some point I was like, it's time for me to stop. It's the same with watching porn. I don't watch porn since years. I don't have any desire to watch porn. I don't even jerk off anymore because I feel like I don't want anymore to use my energy and just spread it out, you know, like I keep my energy and I love it. Like I love it. I love to keep my energy. Like I'm sometimes even, I mean, this is a nice podcast because we are so open-minded and so honest. I mean, but sometimes I'm in the shower, I'm just starting to feel my body and I feel like, no, you know what? I don't do anything. I just keep the energy. And then I'm going out in the day, I'm like Rambo, like full of energy. So, but I needed this time in Berlin where I smoked the joint and I watched 2 hours YouPorn. I needed it. So maybe my friend right now needs his fucking 6 beers after work for the next 1 year. And maybe he needs to collapse his, how you call this, like the organ here?
Liver.
So liver, and maybe he needs to go to hospital and they say like, hey, you have a drug problem and you take too much stuff and you also smoke. And maybe he needs that to come there, because something that I realized from life is the universe and also everything gives you everything you need when it's when you're ready. And maybe he's not ready now to stop. And I don't want to play universe going into his life and saying like, you know what, bro? I'm the mentor. I work in New York. I'm this big guy. I don't take drugs anymore. You have to stop the alcohol. No, this approach doesn't work for me as a coach. The only approach that works for me is like, hey, bro, can I hug you? And I will be there for you. If you want to stop, I can even come for 3 weeks to live with you and help you to drink more water, go to the gym. Because this is what I feel is a real guidance. Like, if I'm calling you up and saying like, hey, bro, I'm going through a very hard time. Can we go off the podcast? And I need your real advice about something that is very private. And you will maybe say like, hey, listen, I have a meeting and then tomorrow is good time. And you will take time for me. You will not judge me. I know that. You will not tell me like, oh, bro, you should be more like this. You will be like more empathic, like more like sensitive. And I learned this from a lot of people around me right now, that the world needs more sensitivity. And I need to be more sensitive with my mother, with my brother, with my family, with my friends. And I come also from a very strong alpha masculine coaching background, like being a big boss motherfucker, you making bike trips and screaming and this, and like really powerful. Like, this is good. You need that kind of power, but you need the other side, which is more like gently, more soft. More like,
then you create a balance.
Balance, yes. And I know that exactly my friend right now in Germany, when he calls me and he's drunk, I know that there's also asking for help. Like there's a kind of, hey, Alex, like I know that you are good in this and I would love to see you when you're in Europe. So one of my first stops is definitely after Greece to go to him and say like, I'm here for you, and asking him, what can I provide to you? What can I give you that helps you in this process? Maybe he will really tell me like, don't judge me for what happens right now, because this is my life right now. And this is powerful, what I learned in the last month, especially working with a lot of women in my life working with me on my ego, on my masculine power, like reducing a little bit, being more feminine, being more soft. Actually, you didn't see me for 6 months. You can feel that also a little bit, like there's more feminine power and sensitivity.
Yes.
And this is what I want to share with the community also when men listening. And this goes out to my friend Mike in Canada. It's a very, very, very powerful mentor. He told me, like, to be weak, to be soft is one of the biggest strengths of a man. And I needed to learn that. I needed to learn that in my first divorce, like that weakness is a strength, man. Like being vulnerable, what you said before with your dad and all this is so private, so soft what you said, and like, wow. And then you said that in front of everyone. You said, like, he asked you to not call you anymore. I feel like my heart was like a knife, like, and then you just exposing this and saying, like, yeah, the world can find out about this. I'm suffering from this. I need to heal from that. But when I think now about the generation of my father, nothing can hurt me. Like the Greek guy walking around like a gorilla, nothing can hurt him. I feel that deep down my father would love to open up and say, like, you see all this pain? But he never learned it because nobody ever gave him
Yeah. I feel this is really important also for the men, also kind of for some women which are more in their masculinity maybe, to let go of this armor of not feeling and not being weak. And I learned this in a lot of breathworks, a lot of transformative breathing, and also a lot of ceremonies with plant medicine. And I was always like, no, I don't want to lose this armor, And then I had a really, really hard time fighting against losing this armor, But at some point when I crack it open a little bit, there's a lot of pain coming through. Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of crying coming through. But everyone who knows it, after crying, after screaming, what is the feeling afterwards? It is like release. Okay. And we had so many men, especially laying here on the terrace, having high dose on psilocybin and coming and just like, I don't want to feel, I'm so strong. And then like really crying like for hours, and it was so good because afterwards, like they're like newborn, they're more sensitive, they're more like loving towards themselves, towards their partners and everything. And so it's important work. And what we men learned in the last decade is, no, you can't cry. It's not like a man, and you need to be like strong and not show your feelings, be the warrior. And also in the coaching scene, it's also like being a warrior and you need to make like $1 million a year and bam, 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 and so many calls and blah, blah, blah. And I was also like going through this kind of coaching, and I felt deep inside, it's not my thing, but I pushed myself through that. And I see that it's in a lot of businessmen. Yeah. And it's always like to proving something, for your father, for your mother, for your brother, for this, for that, for this, And when you let go of that and allow yourself to be weak again, to be vulnerable again. Wow. This is a powerhouse. This is a powerhouse. For sure.
It's interesting.
And what you just said, like a few hours ago, you said I cried in front of the cam, and I just watched a podcast, like it's some months ago, from the Sacred Sons. Maybe you know him, as you know them as well. It's like a big men's group in US doing men's work and a lot of retreats. And I was in a retreat last year with them. Mm-hmm. And when they are sharing in kind of a podcast or on a video, and then they are just like going into this emotion, and then they are crying, and then they are like really encouraged and really positive. And then, they have the ability to serve through these emotions, to go really high and really low. And you can feel it, and you can feel the grief, and you can feel the sadness. And I find this so authentic. Also, when you share, Alexandros, I can feel it, you know, and also the people, the audience, they can feel it. It's not just words. It's also like the energy you transmit through your words, through your body language right now, you know? And I think we
Because
need to relearn this.
I think there's so much we need to relearn. I'm learning at the moment a lot about like letting go this guard, you know. You call it the guard. And it's not easy because I come also from a very alpha background, always being successful in society. Like when you look at my life on a kind of superficial image, people say, yeah, this guy is successful. He's having an independent lifestyle and can afford, and then also he's like good with women and all that. And now I feel like this doesn't mean anything. This doesn't mean anything. This doesn't mean that I have not my inner struggles and my inner pain and my inner child and my work that I have to do. Like, I think it's even more because now I have all these layers on me, like looking good, successful, all this, and the society put all this on me, and I accepted that. I took that. I was like, oh yeah, give me this kind of label. Yeah, tell me that I'm successful. Put my ego, put it in like Pampers, like put it in nice covers. And now I have to get all rid of this. And deep down, there's like a little kid, man, a little boy asking, like looking at mommy and daddy and says like, I love you. Do you love me? You know, like there's this little kid asking for like nothing else when everyone else is asking every day, like love, compassion, hug, sensitivity, empathy, all these things that we were when we were kids. Like we came home and there was like this kind of feeling like you got it from your mother, I got it from my mother too, because my dad was full-time working like so much. I didn't get it from teachers. I got from teachers a little bit like this feeling of a friend, but man, there's also a lot of going on in my inner child work now. And especially since Burning Man, I took there the first time in my life, LSD, and I felt about like, man, this is not about me on this planet. We are like 8-9 billion people. It's about like how this is flowing with each other and how we're all connected with each other. And I think, especially through the work that we do with other people, we have such a strong responsibility to work on ourselves, like to be vulnerable, to be like very open, because also other people see themselves through us. Especially guys like you and me, like we go into some events and then we get seen by people. They're like, wow, that guy has a different aura. That guy has a different charisma. Because we did the work, you know. It's not, I don't want to brag about what we did the last years, or you or Nadia or other people or coaches, but coaches and people with personal development skills, they went through a lot of shit to get where they are today. They went through a lot of inner work and a lot of, even if you took substances like mushrooms, mushrooms is the best way for me to really fight my ego, because there is ego death if you take a high dose of mushrooms. I remember my first mushrooms like years ago. Somebody gave me like 4.5 grams mushrooms. Like this was way too much. He was very experienced. But he said, you can take it. You are like a badass motherfucker and this will gonna kill your ego. I'm like, give it to me. Give it to me. I want to see that. And I remember the first 45 minutes, I told him like, I don't feel shit. This stuff doesn't work with me. And brother, when it hit me, I was out of space. I was like, I need to let go. I need to resign. I need to let go because I'm not gonna fight this. I'm gonna lose the fight against nature. And then there was like this kind of like, I'm holding on it. And I'm like, I think my last heartbeat is coming. I'm gonna die. I'm like, okay. Yeah. And my ego was like, then I prefer to die before I let go. And then like, okay. And I let go. And then there was the next heartbeat. Oh, I'm still alive, but without ego. And I can breathe. And I should be very thankful that I'm alive. And I think I should stop fighting against nature. And like, yeah, you have issues, man. You are not the number one, and you are not on stage, and you're not fucking Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan. No, you are just a small kid from a small village, traveling a little bit the world, Don't pretend that you are this guy. And just because you have thousands of followers, you need to calm down, man. I was like, the mushrooms, they killed my ego the entire night. Like all the realities came and all the truths came. And I cried also a lot because I felt like why I took myself for so fucking important and serious while everyone out there running around wants love, man. And then you go out with this. And now I feel like as more soft I become, as more like also chilled about like being empathic with other people and being more sensitive, as more beauty I experience in my own life, like as more beautiful moments I have, as more beautiful moments of happiness I have. And there's so much more quality of life if you let go all the protection, because out there nobody wants to do something bad to you. Like I don't meet people and they want to beat me and they want to hurt me there. When I go open-minded and beautiful to people, they try to find out like, hey, what's your story about? How can I introduce my life into your life and we create something together and having a good time? If it's for one moment or for 1 minute or 10 minutes or 1 hour or for the rest of the life, you never know. But I think being open for what's around you and more like how you said before, you said you see things and you realize things.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. It's also beautiful to be able to do that, like with looking, with listening, with smelling, with feeling, doing this in different languages. We can speak German or English, like so fucking privileged, man. So
Yeah.
definitely, man, big things happening since you met me the last time. I'm also has definitely to do, I tell you, like going offline more and more and like just taking time for yourself. I
Yeah.
encourage your audience to do like an offline day, like every week, one day you just go offline.
Yeah.
Just one day,
For
like
sure.
the rest of the week you can do your stuff, but just try one day. You will feel like in this day there's so much things you can do, and you will feel like, wow, the day has so much more when prank videos and fail videos and inspirational talk number 750.
Yeah. Yeah, and I encourage the audience also like to make this day like going offline and go to the nature and see the
True.
nature, feel the nature. What you just described with the mushrooms. Yeah, we need this deep connection with the nature. Not in should not be like a plant medicine, you know. Can be. It's like a shortcut. Yeah, but also when you go on a hike. Maybe you go on a kind of a vision quest. You said, okay, I go on a hike without Google Maps. Yeah, and then I
True.
will figure out how I come back or something like this. Yeah,
After
but
6 weeks,
just
they are
go
back.
in this, yeah, just go in this peak experiences, you know? And this is what we need, because then we come back with a lot of stories, with a lot of insights, and with a lot of gratitude. We can close, I think, with gratitude. You come back with a lot of gratitude for your life, for being alive, for breathing, for having good food, for having good relationships, for having good podcasts, good businesses, you know, seeing so many different cultures and countries. And yeah, I think what I take from this last 3 hours is this gratitude for life. Gratitude for the good things, but also like for the shitty things. Yeah. Also for the pain, because the pain leads to the good things. So
True.
gratitude is, and
Yeah,
I can feel
let's
that you
wrap
can
this.
embody it.
Let's
Yeah.
wrap this up with gratitude. I'm also very thankful. Because also I had a lot of accidents on my bike trips and sometimes I forget about them. But so the last days I was chilling here on the pool. I'm since 1 week here. It's a very nice environment here where I am. I'm treating myself very nicely, like because also I go to Europe, I feel like I need to breathe in the Mexican life before I leave. And then I remembered like a few accidents I had. And I always took it for like, I'm the big alpha motherfucker, I survived this. But I felt like some of them could have ended me, like game over. So something happened during the last week when I woke up here. I went to the pool and I was feeling more like, hey man, to be alive, Robin, is really special. to be, how much things had to happen that we came to this planet at this time right now, talking right now. Okay, so many things, billions of things. We can't even influence 1% of those things. So when you break it down, there's not much that you can influence in the day, but you can influence your way of thinking, your way of talking, your way of listening to others, asking questions, being there for others. There's a few things you can do. And if you do them nicely, I think you can have a good life wherever you are, no matter the passport or how much money you have, because then it's coming from inside. And gratitude is, what you said is very important. Like for the shitty things, I'm so thankful for the shitty things in my life. They made me the person I am today, bro. Like, I mean, to be very honest, like if we're wrapping up this beautiful call, man, which you took the time and your audience took the time and people took the time, I'm going to share it in my circle of the people that I know, because it's English speaking. I can share it now with everyone. I mean, it's also one of the few podcasts I do, like not in German. Like for me, it's also big. Like I'm going to send it to everyone. I said, do you want to know my story?
Nice.
Come on, here. Listen to Robin, his podcast. How you call it in English? It's also biohacking, or the natural biohacker show?
The Natural Biohacker podcast. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. You're lucky with that, because in Germany it's like natural biohacker was always like that. You didn't have to change anything, right?
Yeah, I changed it. I changed it a little bit. Yeah, because I did the Natural Biohacking podcast, but it was like a little bit another approach. It's more like with pitching and with interviews, not with talks. You know, there's also like a difference a little bit. And it's also like with corporations, with advertisement for companies and stuff. And I don't want this anymore. So now I want to really have a real deep talk podcast with interesting persons and with persons I want to connect with as well, because I can feel their mission. I can feel their vision as well. And yeah, I think we have already now 6, 7, 8 podcasts in English, maybe. And yeah, the last one was in English. The next one will be in English. So I'm really happy to go more in this direction.
Nice. But thanks for doing this. I know how much work it is to have the equipment, cutting, uploading, Spotify, stuff like this. It's very like inspiring.
More easy than like it was 4 years ago. It was harder. Now it's really easy. Thanks to Spotify for podcasters and Riverside, and so many good tools on the market right now. And for a little money, you know, you can do so much things.
Because now you inspire me to think about it too. Because many people tell me like, why you don't have a podcast? You know, so many crazy people, like so many good people.
Yeah.
And I'm always holding myself back. I'm holding myself back, Robin, because I feel it's so much technical knowledge that you know.
Okay, let's talk, Alexandros. Maybe we can make a commitment here on the podcast, because I'm really well known for encouraging nice and interesting people to start podcasts. Yeah. So like the last interview I had with my friend Dorje, and Dorje, greetings come out to you, Flow to Zen podcast. I also encouraged him to do the podcast, and he's like the born podcaster. And it's so easy nowadays. Yeah, it's Spotify for podcasters is like, you don't need to pay for it. You can just take your iPhone and make podcasts with your iPhone cam, without cam, whatever you like. If you have a message, and you definitely have a lot of messages, Alexandros, please go out, do it.
Okay, I'm gonna speak with my team. So you will be the first guest on my podcast if I do a podcast. You know that, huh?
Oh yeah. I'm there. I'm here. Good.
Hey, Robin.
All right.
Like, was very beautiful to just hit record in the moment you came online, or I came online, we came online.
Yeah.
I take away from this call that we built also very deep friendship over the years, and that I will always support you on your path as an entrepreneur and as a friend, and that I want you to know. Thank you for being who you are, man. You're a very beautiful person.
Thank you, Alexandros. So nice to have you here all the time. your wisdom, your teachings, and I think, also like a big thanks for everyone who just listened now for 3 hours. Maybe you divided this in more parts, or you just listen it through with the first time. So yeah, thank you for your attention. We know that attention is a really big thing nowadays. So, and you took your time for yourself. You took the time to listen to us and to our path. And for sure, we will meet in Europe, Alexandros. I'm
I think so
really
too.
happy. I'm pumped. And
That's good.
yeah, to hug you again after like, I don't
Years.
know. We just met like once. Yeah, we just met like
I
once,
know.
and then we don't really know each other at the DNX in I think it was in 2018 or something like
It
this.
was the year of my divorce. I will never forget.
Okay. Wow. Okay,
Well, time is going
let's take
fast. That's 6 years ago. Huh? Wow.
let's take some time to talk, to
Well, let's
hug,
do like this.
to feel. Yeah, cool. Thank you for your mission also, and so
to practice gratitude.
yes, for sure. All right. So what time is
Thank
it
you,
now
bro.
in Mexico? It's also a commitment from you,
11:20.
no?
11:20. Perfect
Yeah.
time to finish the day. And for you,
All
your
right.
Tuesday is starting, huh?
Yeah. Lunch. Yeah, I have lunch now. So, and all
Nice.
people, go to Alexandros' website, alexandros.love. I think there can
No, it's
people
different now.
connect.
Now
It's
there's
different now. Oh.
we rebranded. We rebranded
Okay.
we rebranded to highmentoring.com.
Mentoring.com. Okay, good. So,
And we also reduced the spots from 14 spots to 7 spots, and we do also like we have very like selective way of how we. The thing what I realized I want to tell people, it's better to do quality instead of quantity. So what we did as a team and as a company is like we go through a very long evaluation process, and because what we want is we want to help people. But sometimes I realized in my last mentorings, the last years, we could help a lot, but not totally. So we needed more people from left and right. And now what we do is like we want to take some of you guys who need help, same for you. We really want to have you in our family, in our circle, long term. So I need to see like what is your longer vision as a person to develop yourself. Do you really want to get healing? Do you really want? Because there's nothing worse when somebody who says, I just pay because it's a service. I don't need your money. I need your commitment of saying, I want to change my life, man. So we changed to 7 spots. So I personally only do 7 people per year now. And we rebranded also because I want to focus way more on masculinity and getting their feminine power in. So we have now coaches like women in our team. A lot of things happen, bro, in this regard. But that's not important for this podcast. The most important for this podcast is that people, let's say that they're really, first of all, thankful that they had the time to watch this video or their podcast. And also that they had this kind of feeling of like, wow, like 2 guys spoke with each other naturally, without script, just talking about life. And I could take something away. And if people comment on this YouTube, like what they felt in this podcast or what we talked, help them, that would be amazing. It would be my biggest wish for the people commenting on the YouTube. You uploading this on YouTube?
Yeah, you can comment on YouTube. You can also comment or discuss in the Telegram group. So
nice, perfect. This would be amazing. That they give us feedback, what they want to hear in the next podcast. Maybe next year we have another one. And
6 hours. 6 hours. But live, please.
Okay, but just to let people know that if they want to find me, I will be I will be with a lot of pleasure in your Telegram group, and I will be there. If somebody wants to find, you know how it is. Like people find you.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, brother.
See you, bro. I love
really
you too,
good.
bro. Thanks a lot for everything. Have a beautiful day and a beautiful week, and see you in Europe.
Yay! Bye-bye. Greetings, Mexico.
Peace.
Ciao.
Bye.